Hey everyone, skull902 here, along with Trip.
Yeah. Okay.
And, my goodness, if you can believe it, today's the last day of the year, 2023. It's New Year's Eve. We're getting ready for the new year coming up. Uh, and as always, that means a look back on the previous year. I'm seeing a lot of heart spam right now.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Maybe.
Uh, well, in any case, um, the years are going by fast for this old man, and it's once again time to look back on some of the videos that I made throughout the year, and all that. So, like always, there's a couple of categories. I'm a variety, content creator. So there's a couple of categories that I tend to delve into. I do skits. I do like reviews and opinion pieces, and stuff of the sort. So, uh, I also do other just uncategorizable videos, or at least other videos that maybe would have had a category, but there wasn't quite enough of them, so I just stuck them all in an other section, which is what we're going to start off with here. Um, so our first video is going to be the stream highlights from February 14th. Unfortunately, the second of the Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed streams it didn't quite work out in the way that I wanted to, preserve the VOD in its entirety. But I did make sure to preserve the results, especially since they led to the creation of the 902 RL. Uh, that I would make the highlights video for it, just to make sure that everybody knows what the results of the competition were. M, hello. Pika Piplup, hello. Welcome. Happy New Year's to you, and Crest, hello as well. Happy New Year to you. Uh, so, uh, with all that said, let's jump into the highlights here of the second of two February 14th streams from earlier this year. Mike's muted. Let's go.
Sure.
Hey everyone, skull902 here. On Tuesday, we did the two-part Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed Super Circuit stream event, with a daytime and nighttime competition. While the first half went by without a hitch, barring a technical difficulty delay at the beginning, I wasn't a fan of how the second stream came out, and thus, I'm making this video as a small recap of sorts to preserve the results. The competitors for the nighttime competition were Rabid, playing as Dr. Eggman. Today's his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Rabid! Rexy, playing as Sonic, as we dedicated this performance to Sylv, who would have been Sonic in the competition had things worked out as they were originally planned. Myself, playing as Amy Rose. Sonics, playing as Danica Patrick for the meme. The daytime champion Sordic, playing as General Winter. And Josh, playing as Team Fortress. Our first race was an Ocean View. All things considered, it was a pretty uneventful race, but it's a nice track at the very least. Rexy was unable to make the first race, so at first we instituted a 5-point system and the standings looked like this. But Rexy joined soon after, so we adjusted to a 6-point scale and gave them last place points for the first race, with the standings now looking like this. After a crash on my end right out of the gate, we restarted and raced in Temple Trouble. Here I went on a brief little spiel about why I picked Amy, she's tied for my favorite Sonic character, and coughed up a second place start to finish second to last due to skill issue. Our standings afterward were like this. Moving on to Dragon Canyon, Rabbit had a pretty fun quip as we were loading in.
Gotta say, Panzer Dragoon, pretty good Star Fox game.
Ralph became my fierce rival for this one, and I dedicated myself to finishing ahead of him. He subsequently wrecked me, but I did beat Rabbit at the buzzer with a well-timed boost. The standings after this one. Sanctuary Falls. Not a lot of exciting gameplay to show here because I spent so much time being stuck on nothing like an idiot, along with some driving mistakes along the way, that it took me nearly the entire race to catch up with the pack. Rabbit apparently also suffered the stuck on nothing curse, so at least I'm not alone. Love you, bro. The updated standings after race number 4. In practice, Shibuya Downtown was probably my second favorite track and the first I ever got a win on, but it's important to remember that racing CPUs is very different from racing humans. And also watch out for psycho buses. Despite my lack of skill, I somehow managed to avoid falling off the track and squeaked out a 4th place finish among everyone playing, with the standings changing accordingly. We then turned to Graveyard Gig, where the CPU gum got a pretty good revenge shot on me and I got stuck like a dipshit again. After some spooky scary fun, our standings looked like this. Our final Sonic track, Galactic Parade, brings out all the colorful lights and spectacle of Starlight Carnival into racing form. I managed to finish the first lap in the lead, but if there's anything that was evident in the race, it's that I needed to get good, especially at flying and picking up items. Watch how the latter of those points ended up costing me at the end of lap 2. I was honestly pretty lucky to keep getting Hot Rod and Boost power-ups in the 3rd lap. Would have absolutely bottomed out otherwise. Going into the final race, the standings showed it was all Sonics and Sortic for first place, but who would end up taking the prize? As the grand finale, the competition ended with the Race of Ages, and man is this a brutal track for the uninitiated. AKA me. Rexy's game crashed as we were loading in, so we restarted, and afterward it was wild. I contended for the lead early, but that only lasted until the boat section of lap 1. After that, I became acquainted with falling off the track. Here's Rabid and I sacrificing ourselves one after the other. Then I got stuck here because I thought there was more space than there actually was. Should there have been? Maybe, but ultimately I just needed better track awareness. The time it took me to get out of my jam, however, caused me a dreaded DNF, finishing in 8th place overall and 5th among the human players. And so, after all 8 races, the final standings came out to be Sonics in 1st place with 46 points, Sortic in 2nd place with 41 points, Rabid in 3rd place with 28 points, Rexy in 4th place with 21 points, me in 5th place with 18 points, and Josh in 6th place with 15 points. Soon afterward, I decided to call the stream off early due to a couple factors, but the fact remains that I think it's remarkable so many people were interested in playing. For reference, we had 9 racers take place in the proceedings, which really just blows me away. I had fun racing with friends online during the event, and trust me when I say there will be more to come, maybe in the original game or Team Sonic Racing as well. We'll have to see, but I hope you're looking forward to it. I'd like to give a special thanks once again to Lost Leader for gifting me a copy of the game to do this with in the first place, and everyone for not only watching but getting me to 2,850 subscribers during the event. Only 150 away from 3,000. That gets me right in the heart, man. Hope you enjoyed this little recap, everyone. Until next time, I have been skull902, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Dennis, hello, welcome. Says you got a 100% file of my heart, Dennis. You sweet man.
And there we go.
Soon afterward, I decided to call the stream off early due to a couple factors, but the fact remains that I think it's remarkable so many pizzas. I forgot that blooper was there. So there we go. Trip, I apologize. I forgot that VLC share is kind of weird. I'll fix that in just a moment. But yeah, there's the highlights from the second 902 RL competition. There we don't go. Indeed. Welcome, Super Epic Toe Bros, to the stream. Pika Piplup says, covering the sports has been unbelievable. Finding this channel is fun to watch. Well, thank you, my dude. Katie says, maybe if I could get my gaming PC set up, maybe I could join the Sonic Racing Transformed races. They look like fun. They are quite a bit of fun, Katie. We're doing Transformed and Team Sonic Racing next season, which should start like next month, hopefully. Speaking of which, here I'll have a little announcement. Actually, like right now, let's just change windows so that Trip can see in real time here. Oh wait, no, that was VLC. Where's OBS? There we go. Okay. So something that I wanted to do for next season is to like create a little signature for the league that I would like play at the start of like a video relating to the league or one of the streams. You know, if anyone out here has watched WWE, right, you know, for many years, they'll have like a little thing right at the start of the broadcast where it shows the logo with a little bit of animation. So I came up with 3 of them. I edited these last night. So here's the first one. So that one will just be for like general usage. You know, probably the Grand Championship because that's being played in both games. And like and any announcement videos relating to the league. Like I'm gonna do like a primer on the 2024 season structure. It'll start off with that one. Here's the one for All Stars Racing Transformed. And for Team Sonic Racing. So yeah, there we go. It was fun to put those together, and I also really like color coding. It was fun to be like, all right, blue is the All Stars Racing Transformed color, red is the Team Sonic Racing color. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, you guys will be seeing those at the beginning of each 902RL stream. And I hope that you guys like it. M says, "Ooh, that looks awesome," and Spidey says it looks peak. So yeah. Uh, Thank you very much, my dudes. Katie says, on my way to visit my older sister, thought to pop in live stream chat and say hi, Happy New Year's. Well, hey, Happy New Year to you as well, Katie. And thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, as far as videos are concerned, let's get this back to Trip. There's VLC. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
So, here, actually, I'm going to play the beginning of the last one just a little bit. Hey, everyone. Because sharing videos in Discord through VLC is a little weird, so I need to like full screen it and then return it to a window. But it's fine. This is like the third stream in 4 attempts, I think, that have had technical difficulties. So continuing on in the other videos section of this. Back in June, I made a little tutorial for OBS Studio on how to get a good-looking picture. Funny that I'm about to play this after messing with technical issues, but yeah. So this is OBS Studio, how to easily get crisp-looking footage. So if any of you are
Ooh.
looking to stream or record games in OBS Studio, here's a bit of a resource for how to do so. So let's get right into it. Hey everyone,
Do it.
skull902 here for my first tutorial in 6 years? My god. But have you ever looked at your recordings or streams in OBS Studio and thought, this is good and all, but I know I've seen better? Well, if you're a beginner, or someone like me who's used OBS for literal years but was too stupid to dig around in the right spot, it's actually pretty easy to get your footage looking just about the way it does while you're playing, or in one particular case, at least better than it looked before. Shout out to My Life in Gaming for teaching me this little trick. Let's get started. First things first, if you're playing and recording in full screen without any overlays or what have you, you're not going to need to watch this video for long. Your game should already match your canvas resolution set in OBS Studio. By default, that's the resolution your screen is set to. For example, I'm playing on a 1920 by 1080 monitor. I have a single monitor set up, and for a couple reasons, being able to see my stream chat while I'm playing chiefly among them, I play windowed. So, to get the best out of your recordings in full screen, all you really have to do is right-click your video source, go to Scale Filtering, and select Point. Bicubic and Area are also good choices, but if the source and canvas match each other, I like Point the best. The same applies to windowed games, but with an extra step. You're going to want to select Resize Output Source Size for recordings, but only if you don't feel like manually resetting the size of your window for every game, which I'll give advice on later. Again, you're going to get the best looking picture with the point filter if your source and canvas resolution match. But what if they don't match? good question. To be honest, it doesn't really matter with pixel art games, as you can see here with Shredder's Revenge. The game and canvas resolution don't match, but it still looks good. In some cases, like with the VBAM emulator, it might be best to go into the filter options directly and set your base resolution to the exact size of your window, but the difference is negligible. What this really affects is 3D games, particularly with textures and text. Let's use Sonic Adventure's character select screen as an example. My canvas size is set to 1920 by 1080, and this is what it normally looks like with no filters. Good, but with some softness around the edges. When I match the source and canvas resolutions and use the point filter, it looks perfect. Everything is captured as it should be. So let's see what it looks like with a 1080p canvas and... oh my. Sonic's model doesn't look bad, but the textures on his body and the text have all become really pixelated. So what you should do in this case is select the bicubic filter. It doesn't look quite as good, but the image is a bit sharper than it would be by standard without really messing up any details, which helps if you're downsizing the game into an overlay as well. The Landshaw's filter is fine at this, but in my personal opinion oversharpens the image with noticeable haloing going on. If you're playing windowed and want your image to be purely the game, your best bet is to set your canvas resolution to whatever your standard window size is. In my case it's 1280 by 720, and make sure your games are running in that resolution or an integer scale of it. Then the point filter should do the rest. And that just about sums it up. I struggled for some time to get great looking footage out of OBS Studio and really wish I had learned about this sooner because it's made a world of difference. So I hope this tutorial has helped if you've been having the same kind of struggle. Happy recording and streaming, my friends. I've been skull902, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.
And again, I sincerely hope that anyone who watched or has watched that video just now, I hope it helps them when it comes
Yeah.
to getting some nice looking footage out of OBS. So yeah, that's
No bloopers.
no bloopers this time. But yeah, our next video, the last in the other section, is the 902RL Grand Championship intro. Oh, thank you, Em. So you know, back to the racing league we go. It was coming up to the championship, and I was like, all right. This is a big event. The finale to our season. So I gotta spruce this up somehow. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna record a bunch of footage, using all the characters that our players use, and just make an intro video out of it, to play right at the beginning of the stream. Thanks to Shadowcoon, by the way, for helping me with like loading videos into OBS, and being able to hear them in real time, because that really helped me with this, and like the videos that I played during Extra Life, and the video intros for the 902RL that I showed you just earlier. So a big thanks to Shad for that. So without any further ado, the 2023 902RL Grand Championship intro. Here we go.
Get ready! 3, 2, 1, go!
So yeah, that was nice and fun to edit. And everything. So that does it for the just the other videos that didn't quite fit into another category. Um, so yeah, hope that you enjoyed. Um, so moving on, our next category is going to be skits. Uh, and we got a good few of them. Most of them are sprite skits, but the first one, and I'm sure Trip will love this, uh, is
Oh,
an analytical breakdown of the bathroom rap from Parappa the Rapper.
let's go.
This one I framed like one of my my thoughts opinion piece review type videos, but it is a skit, and it's one of the ones I think I'm most proud of this year. Uh, so I had some people telling me like I can't tell if this is real or fake. Good job, uh, you know. Uh, Real good stuff. Um, and I appreciated it. Because I think that's kind of like what I wanted to get out of people. In terms of that one. Uh, so. With all that said, let's get right into it. And blah blah blah. An analytical breakdown of the bathroom rap from Parappa the Rapper.
Let's do it.
Hey everyone, skull902 here. Parappa the Rapper, released in 1996, was one of the earliest rhythm games and to this day remains one of the most popular with its unique art style and presentation, along with a banger of a soundtrack. My personal favorite song in the game is the All Masters rap, or what I like to call the bathroom rap. Now, as hard as the game's soundtrack slaps, people don't seem to talk as much about the story, setting, or characters nearly as often, and personally I believe a lot can be pulled from just this one song, featured in the chapter Full Tank. Let's take a deep dive into it. First, the setup. After making a disgusting cake for Sunny Funny's birthday and eating it, Parappa suddenly gets a feeling deep in his gut and is in a rush not only to use the bathroom but get Sunny home safely. It's a precarious situation for our protagonist as it seems no bathroom around Parappa Town is available, but Parappa is determined, making Sunny rather interested in him. The fact he has to go is lost on her, so we can rule out desperation fetishism. Parappa notices the car is low on fuel, pulling into the nearest gas station so he can both fill up the car and spill out the contents of his bowels. However, he finds the 4 masters he's trained under also in line to use the facilities, and they all agree to rap for who gets to go in first. Here is where the song begins, so allow me to analyze it line by line to let you know its true, deep hidden meaning.
I need to go just as bad as you. What I had this morning, I don't even wanna say to you.
Chop Chop Master Onion is the first opponent Parappa faces in this gauntlet. Having taught our hero martial arts, here he's telling his student that there will be many more things he'll have to learn in life, doing this by concealing what he had for breakfast that day, as well as the idea of putting oneself in another person's shoes, directly comparing their situations.
Kick, punch, turn, and chop the door.
Here he's telling Parappa to take on all challenges and use the power he knows the young dog has inside, a clever reference to his mantra of "it's all in the mind" from his stage. He can do anything he sets out to do, so long as he keeps up his spirit. He knows Parappa can win this challenge and is basically encouraging him to carry on.
Or I will fall to the floor.
Failure to do so will result in disappointment from the teacher, showing that his lessons will have all been for naught if Parappa loses. Parappa's repeats of these lines are purely acknowledgments of the situation, readying himself for the challenges next to come, which results in victory for the dog. Here Master Onion has let us know that he crapped himself.
No way. I've been sitting in my car, yes, now for days.
Instructor Mussolini, aside from needing a new name, tells Parappa of her own perilous situation. She's been holding it in for literal days, and it makes sense. Throughout the entire game, she's the only public servant in Parappa Town, which wouldn't change until we see firefighters in Jammer Lammy. Between being a driving instructor, police officer, and whatever else she does, that leaves little time to do much of anything else up to and including taking care of her most basic needs.
Did you check the toilets on the right? Did you check the toilets on the left?
Still, she is a public servant and is dedicated to her service. Here she demonstrates that, making sure Parappa has eliminated any possible alternatives before attempting to go to this bathroom. He could have misjudged after all. Everyone makes mistakes, even her as we see during her level.
I forgot to close the door. Did you check the toilet on the right? Did you check the toilet on the left?
Parappa's responses are confirmations that he has indeed checked all the other bathrooms around, leaving this one as his only chance to go before having an accident.
Okay, you win.
Mussolini is aware of the stakes and lets Parappa through, showing her honesty and bravery by sacrificing her own needs for those of a citizen, as all good public servants should. This right here says a lot about the content of Prince Fleaswallow's character. We already know he's a shady flea market merchant that's in it for money, using love and friendliness only as a means to an end. The man sells skunks in single bottle caps, but here we find that he is such a reprobate that he would willingly defecate in an uninstalled toilet and then sell fecally used toilet to one of his customers. Is it any wonder, after hearing this from Fleaswallow and seeing his questionable business practices, that he's on the run?
In the rain or in the snow, I got the funky flow, but now I really got to go.
Fleaswallow is desperate, first indicated by his opening line and stated outright here. He knows he's in a losing battle and, much like running his flea market shop, is going to do anything he can to get out of this situation in a better place than when he came in.
In the rain or in the snow, you got the funk flow, but now you really oughta go.
Parappa makes this response very expertly here. He's got Fleaswallow on the ropes, but doesn't get either too dismissive or too sympathetic to Fleaswallow. He's only saying that he understands.
The toilet over there will bring you luck, so give up, I got no time to spare.
Having no other recourse, Fleaswallow is now trying to deceive Parappa, basically saying, oh hey, there's another bathroom over that way, why not try that one? But without pointing out which direction said toilet is, he's made a crucial mistake and now it's time for Parappa to capitalize.
The toilet over there will bring luck, so give up, I got no time to spare.
Bam! Parappa throws that garbage right back in Fleaswallow's face. He knows it was all a trick and isn't gonna fall for it. He just got done establishing that there were no other bathrooms around in the last round, and with the ironic echo at the end tells him that he should stop wasting time because it isn't gonna work. Parappa has this one in the bag and Fleaswallow knows it.
I'm losing up. I'm out of here.
Here Fleaswallow gives up, knowing his deception was poorly handled, leaving him more embarrassment and shame in his performance than I have in the fact I've said the word swallow 10 times in this segment.
Walk the walk, even if you can't just talk the talk. I got a call.
There is something that needs to be said about this chicken. This chicken, Cheep Cheep, is easily one of the strongest characters in all of fiction. Her powers are almost beyond compare, and she could easily defeat just about anybody. Name an opponent, they more than likely aren't gonna win. Goku? Nuh-uh. Superman? Not a chance. Saitama? Nope. Monkey? Get out of here. She's well aware of this fact too. How else do you think she could sacrifice 2 of her potential children just to bake a cake? She knows she doesn't have to play by the rules, and this opening line of hers is a declaration of her power and ability.
I am a chicken from the kitchen, and I ain't kidding, although nothing is written.
Basically a continuation of her declaration before, with the added caveat that she also knows the possibility and, perhaps, inevitability of someone surpassing her one day. Having worked with Parappa on Sunny's birthday cake, she's fully aware of his potential.
You are a chicken from the kitchen, and you ain't kidding, although nothing is written.
Respectfully, Parappa acknowledges her great ability but emphasizes the final part, showing her that he is indeed ready and powerful enough to take her on.
Crack, break, fix the door, you know.
The first part of Cheep Cheep's response is a nonsensical ramble brought on by temporary psychotic insanity, due to the sheer surprise that her prophecy came to pass immediately after she said it.
I gotta go, so yes, open up, you know.
After which, she comes back to reality, remembering she needs to use the restroom and demanding whoever's in there to hurry up.
Crack, break, fix the door, you know. I gotta go, so yes, open up, you know.
Showing that the first time was no fluke, Parappa goes to work demonstrating that he can keep up with Cheep Cheep, ultimately taking advantage of her distraction and sealing the win.
It's all yours.
Impressed, and with a newfound respect for our hero, Cheep Cheep has conceded and kindly stepped aside for Parappa to take his victory crap, but with the tone of voice letting him know that now that they're on equal ground, she will want a rematch one day. And so, having defeated all of his masters, Parappa is free to go to the bathroom, and the line he utters upon his kingly throne is easily the most important of this entire sequence.
Ah, this is life.
At first, it seems like that's just a simple exclamation of satisfaction, but when you think about it, this represents a true turning point in Parappa's life. Quite frankly, I think this game's story is a beautiful, relatable tale about what it's like to grow up and mature. Let's look at how he was at the beginning of the game, confused, lacking confidence, trying to figure himself out as most people are at his age. But through his conviction, emphasized by his personal motto,
I gotta believe!
he's gone on an impressive journey of self-improvement. He learned how to be strong and defend himself, how to drive a car, make a living, the culinary arts, gained confidence and managed to hook up with the girl of his dreams, is about to embark on his professional rap career, and with all that in mind has truly gained life experience and become a young man. Either all that and everything else I've said here, or this is just a song about taking a shit. It's a precarious situation for our protagonist as it seems no bathroom around Parappa Town is available, but Parappa is determined, making Sunny rather interested in him. The fact he has to go is lost on her, so we can rule out desperation fetishism. Parappa notices the car is low on fuel, pulling into the nearest gas station so he can both fill up the car and spill out the contents of his bowels.
So there we go. Let's see here. Katie said Eminem versus Cheap Cheap rap battle. Eminem's losing that one. Cheap Cheap is one of those
No, sure.
top 10 rappers that Eminem is afraid to diss. Shay, welcome in. Hello, says Boo.
Boo.
Boo, and a little panda. Hello, hello. So yeah. The world needs more songs about taking a shit. You know what, Spidey? You're right. We need
True.
more defecation in our music.
Absolutely, so we could just listen to that music and just sit back and say, "This is life."
Exactly. So next up on the skit list here is Ray and Mighty 3, 4, and 5. I'm probably going to play these all without interruption in between. So, 5 years ago, I started the Ray and Mighty miniseries about the titular characters. They got a bit of a problem with Sonic. Mighty way more than Ray, who just wants to help out. And along the way, they gather new members of their team. For varying reasons. It, considering how long that this took, uh, Fang's reason has become outdated now, but fuck it, I wrote everything beforehand anyway, so I'm just gonna keep going with it. Uh, but yeah, just like the second part came out after many delays last year. And so the final three in the miniseries came out this year, so I'm gonna play them all, uh, just one after the other. Again, no breaks or interruption in between. Uh, let's see here. Shay said we need one like that one from the Vine, sitting on a toilet. Dude, sitting on a toilet is a fucking OG, fucking amazing meme track right there.
An absolute banger.
Absolutely. So yeah, guys, we're gonna see. It might be a little confusing for those who didn't see the first two parts, but we're gonna see how Ray and Mighty form the bulk of their team in Ray and Mighty 3, 4, and 5, which are titled the Royal Recruits. Uh, uh, God, where is it? There we go.
Somewhere.
The Royal Recruits, Bada Bing, and Security Surprise. So let's get this rolling with Ray and Mighty 3, and then again I'll just play 4 and 5 immediately after, no interruption in between. So yeah, let's go.
here's the place.
Well, golly gee, Matty, it sure is fancy.
You'd think someone with a home this nice wouldn't be out for lost paychecks or whatever.
Trust me, everyone I've talked to has the same problem we do.
Hey, there are people coming, Matty.
Are you the guys seeking revenge on Sonic?
We are?
Oh, good. I was afraid I'd have to execute another group of people so they wouldn't expose the secret.
What the fuck?
Calm down, it's just some real humor.
Oh yes, Princess, you are so good at making the funnies.
What did I tell you about talking out of turn?
Oh, so sorry.
Who's this?
Oh, Antoine? He's my boyfriend.
So you must be his Rapikins, yeah?
I prefer the term master.
Huh. Well, he can come along too. It's good to have you on the team.
The feeling's mutual. It'll be nice to give that blue deserter some payback, and make him give me the proper respect I deserve.
Oh yes, all of the respecting shall be yours, my love.
Antoine, you're interrupting again.
My sincerest apologies, Princess. Please don't tell me you're going to stomp on my...
We'll discuss it later.
This is almost as comical as the time my grandma Gertie tried dancing at the family reunion and ended up crapping herself.
This squirrel is an idiot.
Actually, he's a dumbass. Just ignore him.
Very well. I just need to pack some things before we go, boys. Talk amongst yourselves. Come, Antoine.
Anyone else having trouble understanding his German accent?
What's taking so long?
Yeah, not to be rude, but this guy was supposed to be here an hour ago.
I thought this guy sounded like a bit of a slacker over the phone.
Hey yo, bada bing, who you calling a slacker? Created by Ken Penders Alert. Created by Ken Penders Alert.
Matty, that hurt my ears.
Yeah, seriously, dude. First you show up late, and then whatever the hell that was goes off.
Cut me some slack here, would you? I had to go visit my 14 girlfriends on the wrong side of the tracks.
Well, what about that alarm?
Permission to add a commenting, my princess?
Go ahead.
Are we going to be hearing the alarm system a lot? I won't enjoy Sally's smackings as much if it is constantly making of the noise.
It hurt my squirrely ears just like Auntie Mary screech singing.
Hey, you're not gonna hear the alarm all the time, alright? Thank God. It only blares when I walk into a new area.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why do you even have it in the first place? You're not even really distinct enough to warrant a disclaimer. You're like a greaser, evil version of Sonic. Maybe it's your name. What was it again?
Evil Sonic.
I don't think your copyright alarm has the correct information, and the name Ken Penders really gives me the creeps for some reason.
Yeah, legally speaking, I think there's too many roadblocks for you to be on the team. In fact, we don't even need any more new team members. Plus, you're annoying and smell like sweat.
Alright then, fine. I don't need yous anyway. I'm gonna go off screen, hop on my motorcycle, and run on down to the diner to play tunes on the jukebox as I sit at the bar crying to myself. Created by Ken Penders Alert. Created by Ken Penders Alert.
Can we go to the diner too, Matty?
No. You know, sometimes I just can't believe it. Especially when we were sneaking past the entrance gate. Thanks for those bananas, by the way. They were a great distraction.
No problem, mate.
Now we're here at the studio. The final destination.
Just like Star Trek?
That's Frontier, you... Never mind. Soon enough, Sonic. I'm gonna raid that little movie of yours and get revenge right in front of everyone there!
So we really could have just talked to him at the beginning of this.
I don't think you understand the fine art of doing things by force.
Well, as long as we're nice about it.
You think Sally and Antoine got caught?
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Oh, there you are. Did you find out where they're filming?
I did. We forgot to bring bananas, so I threw Antoine at the security guy working the door as a distraction.
Ouch, poor guy.
My pappy threw a robber out of a window once.
Let's go.
You're fun to pummel. Sally thinks so too. Alright, you mongrel. Lay off our friend or I'll give you a gobful. Buck? Oh, hi there, boss.
You know this guy?
Yeah, he's my mate. Fuck you, Dill. Why aren't you watching over Bean? We don't want him blowing up another nursing home.
But they're giving me candy to watch the door, boss.
What? We were getting money back home, you drungo.
What's money, boss?
Something you can buy candy with.
I'd love to keep watching the family reunion here, but we need to get through.
I don't think I can do that.
We'll give you candy.
Okay, boss. Come right on in.
Thanks, mate.
That sad husk on the floor you beat up is with me.
Oh boy, Mighty! This is almost as exciting as my hometown's annual tree bark eating contest. We're gonna be movie stars.
Oh, we'll be much more than that, Ray. Much, much more. Everything Sonic has will soon be ours.
So yeah, their story is going to conclude in Sonic Clone Calamity, hopefully releasing next year. Let's see here. Well, Pika Piplup, I certainly wish you good luck in that. It's not easy dealing with like spam bots or whatever. Swift, why so upsetty with Ray? He's a sweet bean. He just wants to help out.
You're from the Pumble.
Sally thinks so too.
I fucking love the voice that you gave Bark. It's great.
Yeah. Can you believe we're about to enter 2024? Nah, man, it's been wild. Welcome in, Joshua Hunter. The year is just zoomed on by, like many years before. Every year since 2009 for me personally has just been in fast forward. So yeah. Soro, hello, welcome in. Did you miss anything? You did, but there's still plenty to show. Here we're about halfway through, I would say. So yeah. Goodness gracious, that was Ray and Mighty. Again, it's going to be resolved in Sonic Clone Calamity, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get that movie out for you guys next year. So yeah, next up on the list is another one I think Trip will really enjoy. Like soon after Sonic Superstars came out, I saw this dude's video.
Oh shit!
Where he was like, "All right, I'm gonna bust the Sonic Superstars myths," and it's like it was a bunch of stuff that either wasn't a myth, or like, dude was just like straight up lying, and making shit up, in the video. So I was like, well, I can't not parody this. I have to. So.
Hi, Rabid.
Oh. Yeah, there he is. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome in. You just missed the Ray and Mighty series.
I saw that was happening, and I didn't want to come in like the middle of videos. So.
Makes sense. Let's add your name to the title here. Yeah, we got the dude. He voiced Ray and Mighty, and a good few others in those videos.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So again, I saw this dude's video, and there was like a bunch of bullshit in it, and like stuff that wouldn't have even been a rumor, and whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm parodying this. So it's time to show debunk. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it in the voice. Debunking 8 Sonic Superstars rumors. Busted. So let's get right into it.
What's up, guys? I'm Des Pripfervuse, and after Sonic Superstars came out last month, I have been seeing a lot of rumors on the web that I totally didn't make up, guys. So let's set the record straight here, okay, guys? Alright, bro. Rumor number 1. Amy uses her hammer in the game. Okay guys, so the first one is that people are saying Amy uses her Pico Pico hammer in Sonic Superstars, but this is a classic Sonic game, and we all know she didn't get her hammer until Sonic Adventure. My friends tell me you can see it when she jumps, but guys, this very clearly isn't a hammer. These are red and yellow streaks of speed, so this one's fake. Moving on to the next one. Rumor number 2. Metal Sonic appears in the game. So the second one is that Robo Sonic will show up in Cyber Station Zone under certain conditions, but like bro, I did everything. I did the Sonic 1 level select code, I spin dashed across the hub for this level 50 times, I even huddled by this floating old-timey wood stove, and like none of them have anything to do with it bro. It's literally just a little robot dude, so people are saying it's Robo Sonic? Shame on you guys. Moving on to the next one. Rumor number 3. The boss in Speed Jungle Zone Act 2 is like a monkey. Alright guys, this one's gotta be the most annoying one. I'm here in Speed Jungle Act 2, I'm playing as Amy because that's important to note for some reason bro, and as you can see, the boss here is clearly an egg. I think people are just confusing it with the mini-boss of Press Factory Zone due to bad experiences with drugs. So yeah guys, like as you can see he's just an egg. Stop hitting me bro, I'm trying to explain. Swinging around like some kind of monkey. I mean egg, bro. Egg swing around. Rumor number 4. Rotor the Walrus isn't in the game. I don't know where this one came from, guys. So for those that don't know, Rotor was a character from the Sonic Archie cartoon show, and he's a fat walrus. And it's crystal clear right in the world map, bro, that there's a fat walrus, which is clearly a reference to Rotor.
Dude, are you doing another one of these bullshit fake list videos?
No, bro, it's the truth.
It goes the same way every time, Des. You do these videos and everybody knows you made up the rumors.
Shut up, Jerry. Everyone knows my lists are good and you're disappointing yourself. I just want Mom to love me, guys.
I don't see why you don't just do the research.
Rumor number 5. Lego Sonic skins are in the game. So this next one was submitted by Jerry, who's wrong, guys. Sega announced a Lego skin pack, but it hasn't been released yet, which is weird because they let me download the DLC, but I guess the game needs to be updated. But anyway, I'm here in the character select, bro, and when I pick Sonic here, it only gives me these little arrows to move to the next character. Oh my god, you guys. The Lego skins were updated in! Jerry's still wrong though. Moving on to the next one. Okay guys, this one contains spoilers, so go ahead and skip a little bit if you don't want to get spoiled, guys. No timestamp, just skip a little bit. Rumor number 6. Trip turns into Super Trip with the Chaos Emeralds. Okay, so there are people online claiming that Trip has a super form in the game, guys, but that's not actually true. Alright, so I'm here playing as Trip, and I'm gonna use the super power up, and as you can see bro, she actually becomes Dragon Trip instead of Super Trip. Honestly, I don't know who made this one up because it's so different from all the other super forms, it wouldn't make any sense, guys. So this rumor is debunked. Moving on to the next one. Rumor number 7. All the characters run as fast as each other. At first it sounds like this one makes sense because with the multiplayer you wouldn't want one character outrunning another. So what I'm gonna do guys is I'm gonna prove some characters are faster than others, but since I don't have any friends, I'm gonna do it by running linearly across the first little bit of Bridge Island Zone. And I'm gonna do it in the most analytical way possible, guys. Eyeballing it. Alright, so I'm going in as Sonic, and I'm gonna start running as soon as the game lets me. Alright bro. Okay, so that was about 5 seconds. Then for comparison, let's do the same thing with Knuckles. Okay, I'm entering as Knuckles now. So Knuckles is the slowest character, guys. And the final one, rumor number 8, the final boss is hard. I've heard so many people complain on the internet, guys, that the final boss is hard, but it really isn't. So I'm in Egg Fortress with Sonic, and I'm gonna show you just how easy it is. Damn it. Shit. Shit. Fuck. Poopy cakes. Okay, so I beat the boss, and since I didn't go back to the world map, that means I beat it first try, guys, so it's pretty easy. And that's all the rumors debunked. If you want to see more, guys, give me a thumbs up, follow me on Twitstagram, and oblige to my Donatreon, bro. Okay, see you later. Aw, man. Maybe I should ask that banana guy how he does it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the video in the comments. Give it a like if you liked it, or a dislike if you didn't. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. It's free and you can opt out anytime. Here's a playlist with similar content, and my Twitter. I have been skull902, thank you again for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.
Get ready to see that end card, by the way. It's gonna pop up a few more times here. So yeah, that was the Sonic Superstars rumors debunked skit. Really fun making that one, writing it. I still chuckle at myself whenever the Knuckles slow joke comes up.
So anyway, Knuckles is the slowest character.
Yeah.
So I mean, Egg Bro, Egg swing around.
I'm glad that it seems the people who've watched that video really like it. Especially Dennis, my God, apparently it almost fucking killed him. He laughed
Clearly,
at it so
Des
hard.
needs to make more videos.
Yes.
Oh man, what would he make videos on? The top 10 Super Mario Wonder rumors, okay, guys?
Top 10 hottest Sonic characters.
Top 10 hottest Sonic characters, okay, guys? Number 10, you wouldn't want anyone's feet in your salad.
What the fuck?
Number 1, Froggy. This is an objective fact.
Okay, Felicia said, no, literally, I swear I've seen the video you're parodying here. Can't remember the name of any particular YouTuber here, but I swear, like, the Knuckles is the slowest bit was so on point. Yeah, that was one of the ones I put in here that was based on something that the original dude said. It was basically in reverse though. Like all the characters' running speed, was one thing, and then he was like, okay, yeah, Sonic's running speed is faster because he has the drop dash, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works. So let's see here. Stop hitting me, bro. I'm trying to explain. Said Spidey. Let's see here. Sonic says top 10 hottest Sonic characters. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Exactly. Robert says.
It has been speculated.
It has been speculated, guys. Robert says, Des feels like a guy that would make a video about how green eyes and blue arms ruin Sonic. I don't know about that so much. He's just kind of a trend chaser, you know what I mean?
So here's why the best Sonic game is actually Sonic Blast for the Sega Game Gear.
Well, hey, KJ, glad the sports has you feeling good right now. That's like saying Amy's jump is the highest because she glows a lighter pink when using the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, it's silly.
Semi-super Amy.
Sorry, what was that?
Pico hammer.
I said semi-super Amy.
Finally, someone gets that Sonic Blast is peak.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that was a fun video to make. I really liked it, and making it and appreciate the response that it got. It was just a really fun, fucking stupid video that I loved making. But moving on to Shadow's Confusion 2. I wrote 3 in my list here for some reason, even though that's not out yet. So Shadow's Confusion 2. My God, this one took a long fucking time to come out. The original video was in 2017. 6 years later, and through multiple delays, I think like the extra videos for my Sonic 2 and 3 LP had something to do with that, and then getting sick in the beginning of 2019, and then Season 5 of Sonic and Mario. Just a whole bunch of stuff put this video off. But
one of the main reasons I remember you telling me is that you went through like 5 Tails actors.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of voice actor trouble as well. It wasn't quite 5. I remember I misremembered that one. I looked back when KN and I did the premiere stream, and I was like, oh, okay, it was only 3. But still, uh, there's some voice actor trouble as well. So all that just led to a big old 6-year delay on this one. Well, technically 5, I guess, because it was supposed to come out in 2018. That's aside from the point. But after all this time, it finally came out and had that premiere stream with KN and everything. It was a good time. So, with all that said, it's Shadow's Confusion 2, baby. Let's go.
We have seen the path that Shadow took to uncover the truth.
Okay, that's it. I'm going the neutral path.
But there are alternate timelines in which the Hedgehog chose differently. Today, we take a look at some of these scenarios.
Shadow! Glad to see you! Let's shut down Eggman's theme park!
Why? This looks like a legitimate business to me.
Because he stole my emerald? He didn't even ask! The nerve of that guy!
Well, I am looking for that damn 4th Chaos Emerald anyway. I suppose I could steal it off you when we're done here.
What was that, Shadow? My burning hatred toward Eggman's lack of manners is making it hard for me to hear.
Nothing. How do you suppose we get your emerald back?
Get 400 rings! That'll clearly work!
That's stupid, but okay. I have 399 anyway.
Shadow! Behind you!
Huh? Damn it. But it's only 10. I can recover. Would you stop? Okay, now I'm getting really mad. If you don't... I swear to God. Tails, screw your mission.
Oh, man.
Shadow, thank Master Emerald you're here. We've got important work to do.
Like what?
Defuse 20 bombs.
20? That's quite a lot of bombs just laying around.
They're also extremely easy to accidentally set off, and you need to deactivate them with a vacuum gun.
That's utterly ridiculous. What's the dark mission?
Detonate 5 bombs.
Is there a gold ring?
No.
This is the only level without one.
Goodbye.
Well, this sucks.
Shadow! Good to see you around! Could you help me with something?
What do you need?
Vector told me to find 5 top secret discs. But, like, what's a top secret disc?
You mean you don't know? Aren't you supposed to be a detective?
I'm also 6.
Yeah, well, you're also pretty stupid. Most 6-year-olds know what a disc is.
I'm telling!
Moron. Oh hey, a CD. Good job using your expert hacking skills, Shadow. Thanks. I just kinda hit the keyboard. Now all that's left to do is steal Eggman's files from inside his computer. Ah, so that's where we are right now. Question. Go ahead. Are we high?
You kids, get out of my folders!
Damn, we've been detected.
Shadow the Hedgehog, I have a very intense, undying hatred for Eggman. As a fellow robot, would you join me in my quest for revenge?
Robot? What are you talking about?
Those guys there are all robots.
Well, that's a bit freaky. Guess I'm a robot now. No need to check whatsoever. What do we need to do to take down our oppressive creator, Omega?
Shoot down his slow-moving blimp with an absurdly high amount of hit points.
Sounds pretty boring.
We also have a time limit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Got robo things to do, you know, beep boop and all that.
I quite enjoy the beep boop.
So, Shadow, I know you've been routinely kicking our tails and making us look like fools while unquestionably siding with the Black Arms. But would you mind helping Gun protect its Chaos Emerald while your guys are invading our base?
A Chaos Emerald, you say? You know I'm just gonna take it for myself and plot to conquer the universe, right?
Yeah, that was the expectation. The universe, though? Aren't you getting a little too hopeful there?
I suppose that's a bit ambitious to start off with, yeah.
I can help you plan things out if you want.
Yes. You will be Rouge the Bat, the ultimate secretary!
Hey, as long as I don't have to die, that works for me.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there yet. Things may not be what they seem.
What's that supposed to mean?
It hasn't been proven with 100% certainty. You're just probably responsible for the deaths of hundreds.
Vector?
What? I'm just trying to give you a little pep talk.
Well, you're not doing a very good job.
Some people.
Shadow, we need your help. Gun troops have injured our researchers, and...
Yeah, hold on. I am very confused right now.
But, Shadow, the researchers...
I know, but like, what is even going on right now? Am I dreaming? Having a flashback? Did Black Doom actually take me to the past, or is this just a simulation?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
There he is. Maria! Damn, not here!
Dude, why'd you aim right for the teenage girl? That's fucked up, man.
Because teenage girls scare the shit out of me.
Shadow, thank goodness I found you. You see...
Amy, you're one of the few people I actually like, so please, unless if it's extremely important, just let me get to the goal ring.
Cream wandered off into the haunted castle. I'd very much appreciate it if you could help me find her. I'm really worried.
Oh. No problem. Let's go save Cream.
6 years. But, it's out, and it had a good time, including some friends in there, you know, KN, who wasn't originally slated to be in the video, at least is Tails and Rouge. Her Maria dialogue, she recorded that like years before. So that was kind of like supposed to be her big return to sprite skits, but then the video got delayed. Then she became my regular Tails and Rouge again. So yeah, I would love to do a cut, or at least maybe make an alternate closed captions track, right? That just shows the year that every line was recorded, because I think like 2018, 19, there's like only 2020 I think is the only year that lines for this video that were used in the video weren't recorded. So that'd be kind of an interesting one. But yeah, that does it for the skits this year, and you know, it's gonna be something next year, with the final 2 sprite skits, one of which is the movie, and everything. So we're getting to the end of an era here. Not skits in general. They'll still make some lovely shitpost videos like the Sonic Superstars one, but you know, hopefully you guys enjoy. So our next category here is the My Thoughts videos. You know, reviews, opinion pieces, so on and so on, what have you. going to start off very simple, and the first one, I'm just including it just so that Rule of Three can be represented here. But it's episode 17 of Rule of Three. This one I believe was a charity reward. In fact, it was. So I did like another little bit where people could suggest something to take a look at. I spun the wheel and it landed on Code Lyoko. So yeah, I just reviewed the first 3 episodes of that, and I'm gonna show that right now. So Rule of Three, episode 17. Have a watch, or well, mostly a listen because it's a still frame for the vast majority of the video, but whatever. I'm playing it now.
I've heard before that it takes 3 installments in a series to know if you're interested in it, and I'm here to test that out. Hey everyone, skull902 here, and this is Rule of 3. This special episode of Rule of 3 is being done as a reward for viewers reaching the $15 donation tier during my Extra Life Let's A Go event. To the viewers of the event and those who donated, thank you very much for supporting the cause. Today I'll be looking at Code Lyoko as suggested by Felicia Rose Antonia during the selection stream. Code Lyoko is a French series created by Thomas Romain and Tanya Palumbo, and produced by Antifilms Production as well as Moonscoop Group. It aired on France 3 and Canal J between September 2003 and November 2007. The English dub, which I'll be reviewing here, aired on Cartoon Network's Meguzi block between April 2004 and late 2007, with the last few episodes premiering on the channel's website. I remember holding a bit of resentment for this show back in the day. Even though I was firmly a Nickelodeon kid by that point, it still sucked to see Toonami shoved off to the weekend and have it replaced on weekdays with a block that, in my opinion, had a worse aesthetic and inferior programming. Will that remain the case, or will I gain an appreciation for the series now that I've matured? Let's find out. Before I say anything else, I just gotta mention the theme song, A World Without Danger, because it's one of the best cartoon theme songs I've ever heard. Absolutely love it, and there's a full version out there in French and English. Not even the equally awesome and equally French Wakfu theme has a full English version available, so hats off to the producers for that. Excellent work. Notes from the song are also used as transitional music, so it's hard to really remember the other songs in the soundtrack. It was nothing terrible in that department, but nothing memorable either. The animation is a weird mixed bag. The 2D segments are done pretty well, but the 3D ones aren't that great, even by the standards of the time. Then in a weird reversal, I'm not terribly big on the character design, particularly for the kid characters. It's those huge-ass foreheads, makes them look like they're balding. However, the designs look much better in 3D. Still much better than that ugly dog, though. The voice acting wasn't great either. Most of the performances were pretty subpar, with the exception of Sharon Mann as the voice of both Jeremy and Aelita. Some line readings were still off, but they had the best consistency among the cast. When it comes to the writing, the characters were fine, but with few standouts. Jim was the only character I ended up liking. The plots themselves I felt were good for a show like this, but the placement and overall storytelling I found a little weird. For example, the second episode is a high-stakes plot about Xana attempting to blow up a nuclear power plant to level the city. This is between episodes where it possesses a teddy bear and creates poison gas to flood the school with, I should remind you. That kind of thing feels like something that should go later on in the season when we've gotten to know the characters better. Speaking of which, we're just kind of thrown into the setting without it ever really being explained what Xana or Lyoko are, how the kids have such an elaborate setup to go on their adventures, what their powers or limitations are, etc. The audience is left to just kind of figure it out on their own. I understand that there is an origin story later on in the series, and I'm not saying you always have to start things off with one, just a little bit of dialogue to let us know the reason behind everything would suffice. Otherwise, there's a couple moments that raised an uncomfortable eyebrow, such as the scene where an 8th grade girl is in her underwear making those kinds of noises, or the end of the first episode when Ulrich decides to be Millie's date for the prom despite a wide age gap between them, which is treated like a good thing. Squicky. The show's also got some humor. It wasn't much to write home about, but there were a couple fun moments in there for what it's worth. So what's the verdict? In my opinion, based on the first 3 episodes, Code Lyoko is fine but doesn't leave enough of an impression to make me want to keep going. I can see why it'd be special to anyone who grew up with it, but I was left thinking it was just okay. Nothing awful, but the missteps in storytelling and characterization prevented me from getting into it. That'll do it for this episode of Rule of 3. Thanks once again to the Extra Life donors, and also I'm really sorry I still haven't gotten the new batch of follow-ups out yet. I haven't forgotten, there's just other projects taking higher priority. Until the next one, whenever it is, I have been skull902, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. I haven't forgotten, there's just other projects taking higher priority. Until the next one, whenever it is. Southern drawl suddenly.
I forgot about that.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever it is.
So, like, I remember recording it, and it was like something in my throat just decided to like twist to the left or something. It was really weird.
You know what the funniest part about Code Lyoko's English dub is?
What's that?
Because it's French, all of the voice actors are also in the Big Green dub.
Oh man. Thank you, Shay, and Felicia with a cowboy the cowboy emoji in the chat. Excuse me. So next up on the list is The Good and the Bad, an Amy Rose character analysis. And this one was a big project that I had been working on for some time. Took me a really long time to catch up on the IDW comics. I'll say that much. You know, and I'd been planning on it since like the beginning of the year. It came out in September, and just a lot went into it. You know, from recording the footage to you know, obviously writing the script and like I said, catching up on the IDW comic. There was a lot that I needed to take in for this one, and you know, do some research and all that. Not to mention the 16-hour session that I did to edit the video from beginning to end. Dear God, my hand hurt. But it was all worth it in the end, and everything. So yeah, just wanted to take a deep dive into Amy Rose's character writing through the years in celebration of her 30th anniversary. And you know, out of everything that came out this year, it's probably what I'm most proud of, and everything. So yeah, let us have a look-see at this one again. That's The Good and the Bad, an Amy Rose character analysis.
If you'd like a chance to win a physical copy of Sonic Superstars, stay tuned to the end of this video. Please don't skip. Hey everyone, skull902 here, and this year marks the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog CD. With its explorative level design and time travel gimmick, this game became a cult favorite and one of the few Sega CD titles that garnered a positive reception. One thing the game is remembered for is bringing about the debuts of cybernetic doppelganger Metal Sonic, as well as the subject of today's video, Amy Rose. Despite being one of the big 5 main characters of the franchise, and getting high results in popularity polls, usually around 5th and 1st among the female characters, attitudes toward her are actually fairly divisive in the fanbase. Amy, along with Sonic, is my personal favorite character in the series, and, to celebrate her 30th anniversary, I thought it'd be fun to take a dive into her character writing over the years, because depending on the writer, we've gotten some wildly different takes on her. So what I'm going to do is first take a look at her depictions in the classic series, how it evolved in the Sonic Adventure series to serve as the basis of her personality from that point on, and then see how that's changed over time with what I consider to be the 3 biggest influences of those changes: Sonic X, Sonic Boom, and the IDW Sonic comic. Other media, such as the manga in which Amy's prototype debuted or the Archie comic, I don't believe really shaped her character in the games that much, if at all, so we won't be taking a look at those. With all that said, let's get started. Amy Rose was created by Kazuyuki Hoshino after Sega held an internal contest to create a female counterpart to Sonic, using Mickey and Minnie Mouse as a reference for what they were looking for. Instead, the development team of Sonic CD thought it'd be more interesting, and in line with Sonic's character, to make the relationship one-sided. Although Amy was described as energetic and easygoing with an interest in mysticism, particularly fortune-telling and card reading, up until the late 2010s it was mostly just treated as flavor for manuals and not really showcased in-game like her crush on Sonic was. Honestly, Amy wasn't even really much a part of the central cast back then either, usually just filling up a slot when needed for multiplayer games. So, unless you actually read the Japanese manual for Sonic CD, all you could reasonably guess about her was that she was a girl infatuated with Sonic who didn't really reciprocate. In my opinion, Amy's personality and character were really solidified when the Japanese continuity took priority in Sonic Adventure. Amy's journey in the first Sonic adventure is a story about coming into her own as a hero. She reminisces about the old days with Sonic, bored with her everyday life, until a flicky happens to collide with her, roping her into the story when it becomes apparent that E100 is after the bird. Amy might be inexperienced, but she's not going to let this poor creature be hurt. At first she seeks out Sonic for help and gets distracted with a promotion at Twinkle Park due to her crush on him. But, after she's taken prisoner by Zero, she meets Gamma and manages to convince him to let her and the Flicky go, managing to see the potential in him to do good despite his programming. This marks an important turning point, first shown when she stands up to Sonic during his fight with Gamma, and commented on after she lands safely in Station Square with Tails. From then on, she displays a more take-charge, proactive attitude about her task, facing her fear when Zero strikes the Flicky and putting the evil robot out for good, after which she displays full confidence in her abilities, and promises to prove herself to Sonic one day. Despite not being a playable character in the second game, we see some of the same traits in Sonic Adventure 2 as well. She's not overly clingy to Sonic, only really letting her crush be shown when she stupidly mistakes Shadow for him, which is a problem not exclusive to her in this game, and a pretty natural reaction to when the blue blur gets shot into space and presumably blown up. Amy rescues Sonic from his prison with an assist from Tails, and gives Shadow the same treatment she gave Gamma, showing him that the world was full of good people and worth saving. Some detractors might point to her "Will you marry me" line from the prison rescue scene, but I think the intent there was that she was joking. We've seen enough to know she wouldn't leave anyone, much less one of her friends, behind like that. So what we get in these two games is a character who's sweet, willing to unselfishly help those in need, wears her heart on her non-existent sleeve, stands up for her beliefs even if it means butting heads with her friends, is a capable hero, and more importantly has a deep level of understanding in seeing the good in people that others might dismiss or give up on. She's the heart and caretaker of the team, and in my opinion is Amy Rose at her best. This would be the depiction of her character that everything else bases theirs on, so let's see how the producers of Sonic X ran with it and influenced her writing in future games. Sonic X, celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, is a show that doesn't have terribly great writing in my opinion. The overall plot isn't very good, and the characters, whoo boy. Along with Knuckles, I believe Amy got the worst treatment of the game characters in this show. Most of the time, she's overly angry, overly obsessive with Sonic, bossy and selfish. As mentioned before, I think she was portrayed pretty excellently in Sonic Adventure 2, so let's use a moment from the show's adaptation of that game as an example. She and Tails are flying the prison island to rescue Sonic. Tails is trying to be careful about it, but Amy just wants to rush in hammer first and get Sonic out of there. She basically yells at him to hurry the fuck up and get in closer so she can get a move on. Poor Tails, in exasperation, makes a little justified comment under his breath about her behavior, to which the pink hedgehog responds, "What did you say?" in a manner clearly meant to intimidate. This is a small sample of how she acts in most of the show. In the third season, it gets just a little bit worse when it becomes apparent that she's more so motivated by impressing Sonic than actually doing what's right, which the first two seasons at least showed her doing frequently enough. Some might make the argument that it's simply the English version and that the Japanese original is much better. I personally beg to differ. Aside from the last two episodes, the show didn't really change much storytelling-wise between both languages. Sometimes one version would tone Amy's worst traits down while the other amped them up and vice versa. For instance, in episode 42, which is a pretty bad episode all around for characterization, she threatens to beat the shit out of Chris in an attempt to get Sonic to speak with her in the original, whereas in the English version she instead accuses Chris of keeping Sonic's whereabouts a secret while going on her temper tantrum. Conversely, the Japanese version of episode 45 actually has a rather sweet little scene where Ella and Mr. Tanaka prop her up after calming her down from another tantrum, ending on a fun little bit where Amy acknowledges Sonic is free like the wind and wonders if she'll be able to catch him, only to immediately see him in the window. In English, however, she instead tries to dismiss Sonic entirely before the window bit. Also, she was far more of a dick to Mr. Tanaka before calming down, and that just won't fly in this house. To the show's credit, however, they generally do a great job with moments that are supposed to be emotional or impactful, many of which involve Amy acting more or less the way she does in the games that inspired it. We have episode 9 where her motivations are driven by her love for Sonic, but she genuinely wants to help him be less afraid of the water, or the iconic moment from episode 52, or saving Sonic in episode 76 despite being told the situation was helpless by her friends because they and the universe needed him and it was the right thing to do. There's a couple more, but it's stuff like this that just makes me wish the show as a whole could have been written this way. So, after all of that, what influence did it have on the games? Her personality in the games that followed was inconsistent but more balanced in that regard as well. We have Heroes where she's only really out to marry Sonic, brings up that intimidating tone when Cream suggests that he might not reciprocate, or outright blaming Eggman for being the reason she and Sonic aren't together, her improvement in ability apparently coming at the cost of her characterization. How about Sonic Battle? There's a bit of an arc about her working to improve her health, but then most of her scenes are her trying to force the idea on Emerald and Sonic that the former is now their adopted child so they can practice parenting. In Rush, Amy gets upset and chases Cream around with her hammer just because the rabbit said her priorities might not be in order, growing suspicious of Blaze for the high crime of being a girl who might want to speak with Sonic. On the flip side, we have games like Shadow the Hedgehog, where she's probably got the least selfless mission of any side character, wanting to find Cream and Cheese to make sure they're safe after they wandered into a spooky castle. She's generally one of the better written characters in 06, barring that one line.
If I had to choose between the world and Sonic, I would choose Sonic!
She apologizes to Silver for tripping him up and promises to make it right by helping him out, standing in his way and putting herself in danger when it becomes apparent that his mission is to kill Sonic. Later on, after rescuing Elise, she's shown to be very supportive of the princess's romantic aspirations, even if she's unaware that Elise also has a hankering for Hedgehog Dick. And then there's Sonic Unleashed. While Amy's probably the least prominent of the main characters in the game, she has a couple great little moments, again apologizing to Sonic in his werehog form when she hadn't yet realized it was him, and after finding out, she has a bit of dialogue about accepting him no matter what because his looks don't change the fact that he's a great person inside, though all of her hub dialogue is optional, and at the end of the game, never giving up on hope that Sonic can get the job done, telling Professor Pickle she knew he had it in him all along after the day is saved. The last game I believe X had any influence on the writing was Sonic and the Black Knight. Her Arthurian counterpart Nemu was done very well in my opinion, and Amy herself has a vocal cameo after the credits where she's pretty reasonably annoyed at Sonic for missing their date and not buying into his reasons, but then also giving him the hammer chase afterward. A weird but fittingly mixed depiction of her character, as if it were a microcosm of this era as a whole. In 2010, Sega decided to overhaul the creative side of the Sonic series with a huge tonal shift. Stories were now simpler with less character focus, instead emphasizing comedy. Amy became something of a one-track character in her first two appearances after the shift, and they're both bad depictions for different reasons. In Sonic Freeriders, they decided to make her Bitchus Maximus. Hard to argue this being her worst in-game portrayal, with her constant belittlement and ungratefulness toward her teammates. In Sonic Generations, her appearance, much like most of the cast, is very limited and she uses hers to constantly gush about Sonic or try to sneak bear hugs on him. Knocking out Knuckles with ease was kinda funny though. Afterward, Sega went in a different direction with her character, as shown in Sonic Lost World. That game is pretty terrible writing-wise, featuring the beginning of Tails' descent, but Amy actually had it pretty good here considering the lack of screen time she and Knuckles have. She's very sweet and caring to the animals, gives Sonic updates when needed, and treats her feelings for him very subtly. Well done. It seems to me like they had the writers of Sonic Boom go in this direction as well. Amy's generally very nice and considerate, a bit neat and proper, but also actually gets an opportunity to get into the fight. Just about the only differences I can think of is that she talks about gender equality sometimes and her crush on Sonic is an outright secret, which they do portray as a bit creepy sometimes, but in those cases it's the punchline of a joke, not a core part of her character. Since Boom was mostly episodic and had a simple comedic focus, there isn't really much more to discuss. Only one game featuring Amy came out between Boom's premiere and the IDW Comics' first true issue, Sonic Forces. In it, they continue the trend of giving Amy these good characteristics, along with a heightened sense of responsibility as the organizer of the Resistance. With the odd exception of this single line that harkens back to her obsess over Sonic portrayal, and the fact that they didn't really know what to do with her or any of the non-playable characters at the end of the game, it was pretty good for what little we got. And that's kind of the thing, eh? They had the foundation there, but Sega was so afraid of using most of the cast for so long it feels more like an asterisk than a truly great portrayal of the character. However, half a year after Force's release, the IDW comic had its proper debut, and they made sure to give the game characters not named Sonic some time to shine. Now, before I get into Amy's characterization in IDW, my thoughts on it and the comic in general, for transparency's sake I do have a line of contact with someone who works on the comics, so please do keep that in mind. Making her full debut in the comic's second issue, Amy has a fantastic introduction with some great moments and fun dialogue, getting to kick some ass with Sonic. Throughout the series, she's largely been depicted well in my opinion. She shows great leadership qualities such as shouldering the heft of the Restoration's responsibilities while she was in charge, resourcefully recruiting the Babylon Rogue's help in the Metal Virus saga, and strategizing the battle plan during the Imperial City story. Her sweet, caring nature is one of her most often displayed traits, for example taking care of Silver and comforting Cream and Tails, as well as her concern over Sonic's condition during the Metal Virus arc, taking Jewel, Tangle, and Belle on the camping trip with the intent of giving them a break from their troubles, reassuring Belle during the card reading, apologizing for things going the way they did despite it not being her fault, or in the fourth storyline where she immediately checks up on Sonic after coming in with the others, apologizes for breaking the Miles Electric when Tangle spooked her, getting Rouge to give the Echidna artifact to her so she can take it back to Angel Island, and sympathizing with Knuckles due to his isolation, expressing concern for him being all alone and offering him a place in Restoration HQ if he needs a break, and appreciating his trust as well. She even hesitates to get in her first fight of the second storyline because she doesn't want to take any credit for it. Like, for real, what a sweetheart. That's not to say she's a slouch in battle though, quite the opposite. Along with her debut, she saves Cream and most of the non-infected at Restoration HQ when it was breached, and took part in the evacuations during the Metal Virus saga, though attacking Zomom at a bad time seemed uncharacteristically impulsive, helped shut down Clutch's operations in the Chow races, which I'll get back to later, fought along Sonic and Tails in the testing chambers, pledges to do all she can to fight the forest fire and does just that, and stalls Metal Sonic and Eggman at different points during the Imperial City story. One moment in particular in those issues that caused a bit of discourse was her taking the giant Badnik's equally giant hammer and clobbering it. Honestly, I rather liked it. It felt to me like Amy had to really dig deep in order to do it, and she's very exhausted after the fact. Gives me the impression that she really doesn't know her own strength unless the situation calls for it. I'm reminded of Minako from Sailor Moon and how she can just do something like jump from the street to a balcony without even having to transform. All this combined has led to a positive reception for Amy's character in the comics, some of whom had disliked the character before. One thing I see all too often is some people claiming IDW finally made her good, which, even if that wasn't a repeat of what some had to say about her in Boom, I gotta heavily disagree with. These traits had all been there before. It's not like the comic writers invented her personality. Another take on it I disagree with is the idea that she's been written perfectly. Sorry bro, but that ain't true either. Some criticisms I have relating to that are how she didn't do much in the final fight of the Neo Metal Sonic arc despite having a cool hype-up moment with Team Sonic immediately beforehand, or how all the good stuff she did in Imperial City is kinda undermined when she's somehow incapacitated without even taking a direct hit, almost as if they wanted to call back to Sonic X on that one. But those are small potatoes compared to two weird missteps in the second and third storylines. Throughout the Metal Virus saga, Amy loses confidence in her abilities as a leader. It's built up over plenty of issues, and Jewel eventually offers to help her with the restoration, to which Amy happily agrees. At first it seems like the plan is for Jewel to tackle the paperwork while Amy takes the role of a field commander, but when Eggman attacks and Whisper asks Amy for orders, she just throws Jewel under the bus, essentially going, "She's the leader now, ask her for orders." Vector and Tails are left to pick up the pieces afterward. Not only was that a wasted opportunity to get Amy's confidence back up, but the heroes know by that point that Jewel's a complete worrywart, not to mention her total lack of battle experience, so it feels kinda cruel. The confidence arc unceremoniously ended in only a few panels during her fight against Clutch's machine, giving herself the most minimal of pep talks and then boom, back to her old self. I feel like it could have been played out over the course of 2 or 3 battles, really build it up, you know? The other big one is when she publicly pressures Jewel into making a plan to fight the fire during the camping trip. It's worded sweetly and all, but again, Jewel's so anxious and being put on the spot like that, not the greatest of looks. However, these things thankfully are exceptions to the rule, and I think Amy's depiction in IDW is very true to the good examples of her character set before then. Sega seems to have taken a cue from her writing there and usually depicts her as such on their social media. Taking another step in this direction, they straight up hired comic writer Ian Flynn to write Sonic Frontiers, released last year. Amy is your companion on Kronos Island, where she displays her good traits. The first thing she does upon being reawakened is check up on Sonic to see if he's alright. She comforts and looks after the Coco, even standing up to Sonic on their behalf when he suggests shifting focus from taking care of them. She gives Sage a talking to as well when the latter tells Sonic that saving his friends is a fruitless endeavor. When the Hedgehogs are flashed back to the moment 2 ancients embrace and die together, it hits Amy hard and inspires her to try and spread that love to the world. Later in the game, she also sacrifices her freedom with Knuckles and Tails, sending themselves back into cyberspace to break Sonic out of stasis. Plus she does that silly little run. For real though, just about the only weird thing here is, for all the great emotional dialogue in the game, not once do Sonic and Amy talk about her feelings for him. In the Sonic Twitter takeover shortly after the game was released, they even depict it as if her crush on him is a secret, like in Sonic Boom. So that's a bit peculiar. It doesn't stop her from giving him a big hug at the end, and hey, he even reciprocates, which I think is a big show of growth for both characters. Some fans got up in arms about the Fast Friends Forever description of Amy saying she doesn't chase Sonic around anymore, but if you look at just this little moment, it really shows what that statement means. Amy's learned to settle herself down a bit, and conversely, it's helping Sonic appreciate her just a little more, not being weirded out or scared into fleeing. They're not suppressing her feelings for him entirely, she's just expressing them in a less assertive way. We've seen this in the IDW comics as well, and in my opinion is a natural evolution for their characters. Good stuff. Amy Rose is a character that's experienced many ups and downs. In her worst depictions, she's obsessive and clingy towards Sonic, she's overly angry and intimidates her friends, she's rude and selfish, it all just comes across as a shallow stereotype. But not only do the good depictions outnumber the bad ones, in my opinion they outweigh the negatives by a wide margin. Amy Rose, in her good depictions, is one of the best characters in the franchise. She's kind and considerate, always putting the needs of others before herself. Her compassion and understanding of people is unparalleled, being able to get through to those that others would have long given up on. She's energetic and cheerful, unafraid of expressing her feelings, but she doesn't use them to antagonize others. She can be level-headed and reasonable, but also isn't immune to acting on her emotions, taking risks, or making mistakes and getting herself into trouble as a result. She's an exceptional hero, even being given a little character arc showing her improvement and adaptive skills in that department. She's committed and can be depended on for anything, whether it's bashing bad guys or doing something nice to cheer her friends up. Like I stated earlier, she truly is the heart, the caretaker of the team because of how unique her level of empathy is among the other heroes. Not that the others don't possess those qualities. A good comparison I've made is that whereas Sonic might save someone, make sure they're okay, give them some encouragement if needed, and set off for his next adventure, Amy would be more likely to save someone, make sure they're okay, and stick around to get to know them better and ensure they'll still be alright after she leaves. That is Amy Rose to me, and it makes her one of my favorites not only in the Sonic franchise but in all of fiction, and I'm glad that seems to be the direction Sega wants to take with her because after all the inconsistency and divisive fan reaction, it's what she really deserves. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the video in the comments.
Okay, we can end that one, because it's just the end card and like the Sonic Superstars thing that doesn't really apply anymore. I see heart spam. Is that you, Georgia? Thank you for the clap, Shay. There will be a follow-up to this video next year, addressing some revisions and some of the critiques that the video got as well. Oh, thank you, Em. And it is Georgia with the heart spam. Thank you very much. Goodness. 10 out of 10? Oh man, thank you so much, Em. So yeah, again, just that's the video I think I'm most proud of this year. Just a lot went into it, and you know, just came out the best of all the videos that I did this year, I think.
Brandon's Amy video essay.
Yeah. Georgia said Brandon's Amy Rose defense manifesto.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look. Like I said at the beginning of the video, she's one of the more divisive characters in the franchise, and there's, inconsistent writing is the reason why. So I wanted to have a look at it,
And then there's me, who has no strong feelings on Amy either way.
I mean, this is fine. I have plenty of friends who think, yeah, she's all right, So, I mean, opinions are valid as long as you're not using them to shit on other people's opinions. Skull, don't forget how people run in Ohio.
What?
What does that mean?
Spidey's been making a lot of Ohio jokes in the last few weeks, I've noticed. Goodness. Also, welcome back, Spidey. But yeah, again, just that's the video I felt most proud of this year, and there will be a follow up next year, and I'm currently in the writing process of that. Hopefully hopefully it turns out good for you guys. Like it seems this one did, and I appreciate the positive reception. Does that mean Amy is Ohioan? Well, they haven't said that she isn't. So so maybe.
Ask Ian Flynn.
Dear Ian Flynn, instead of asking you a decent question that makes sense, is Amy from Ohio?
And why is the answer yes?
Well, I guess it's yes.
So the next one here, we're getting to the final two actually. Is my thoughts on the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. Every
Oh,
year,
boy.
every year except 2019, I did an Ice Age related video for the Christmas season, and this one was kind of like the last one. I caught up on everything except for the video games, but that's kind of like a whole different thing. So look, I've watched Ian's podcast. He gets way weirder questions than that. Oh, probably. Yeah. More than likely. But again, I've had a look at like the original Ice Age, the sequels, the shorts, the specials, and now it's culminated in the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, which did not look very good at all based on the trailers. So I gave the movie a watch, and I wrote my thoughts down and all that. You guys know how these videos go. So yeah.
Everybody knows that the superior film is the porn parody Ice Age Fuck Wild.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Well, aside from that, let's get into the video. My thoughts: the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild.
Hey everyone, skull902 here. Over the last several years, I've been taking a look at the Ice Age franchise. The films, shorts, specials, and now this spin-off. The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. As I'm sure you can tell by my enthusiastic tone, I'm not looking forward to this one. So before we begin, a little backstory. Each Ice Age production before this was produced by 20th, later 21st Century Fox, and animated by their studio Blue Sky. In 2017, Disney announced they'd be acquiring 21st Century Fox, turning it from one of the major Hollywood studios into another label for their own productions. The deal was completed in 2019, and by that point the Ice Age franchise was considered long dead, what with how poorly Collision Course did. In early 2021, Disney shut Blue Sky Studios down, further cementing this perception. And then, later that same year, they really took a liking to promoting Fox's library of family movies, using the Ice Age cast as the poster child of their efforts, which they were criticized a good bit for. You kill the studio that made these characters off and then parade the dead bodies of their work in the streets? Weird, but corporations be corporations, I guess. Even weirder was that this spin-off movie had been announced 4 months before Blue Sky was shut down. So how does it even exist, you might be asking? Well, my friend Disney were making it themselves, apparently without the involvement of the series' original creators. In fact, the only person returning for this one was Simon Pegg as the title character. In November 2021, the trailer was released and... oh my god, did this production look cheap. I'd call it a cash grab, but they released it on Disney+, so did it even really make any money? But that was just the trailer. How does the movie as a whole fare? Lord help me, but let's dive in. After being reckless and stupid little shits, Crash and Eddie get told off by Manny, Ellie, and Diego, striking out on their own and traveling to the Lost World, where they run into the super-intelligent dinosaur Orson and his band of raptors, getting saved by Buck and joining him in his quest to stop the evil genius. Along the way, they run into Buck's friend Z, the only surviving member of their old team. More on that later. The herd, meanwhile, set out to search for and rescue the Possum Brothers and take them back home. The story on paper would be alright, but becomes bad due to how it retcons Ice Age canon, which, as Rabid pointed out, is a bit of a weird thing to say. Up to this point, everything we knew about the Lost World was that it was a place for the dinosaurs to exist and Buck was just kinda the odd one out. But apparently not, mammals have just coexisted this entire time, I guess. I did think the Dodo cameos were fun, but it doesn't add up. And his tragic backstory from the third film about being a loner, fighting Rudy and all that, meaning that Z's existence makes no sense? Nah, he apparently was a part of a team and his tragic backstory is that most of them died. How about the bridge from the overworld to the Lost World being destroyed in Dawn of the Dinosaurs? Don't worry about it. The fact that Buck stayed with the herd at the end of Collision Course? Don't worry about it. The shock and surprise of Orson being a talking dinosaur when the villains of Collision Course were exactly that? Don't worry about it. Even weirder is how they ignored the continuity but also called back to the previous movies so much. So yeah, the plot is bad, as is its humor. Not a chuckle from me, but that's because the type of jokes they were going for was that kiddie sort of stuff. Crash and Eddie's antics are filler, something for small children to laugh at and immediately forget once something else happens. The actors did fine for the most part. Simon Pegg as Buck was, as expected, the shining star among the cast, and the replacement voices were mostly fine, with Ellie and Manny's being pretty good, and Sid's being the stinker of the bunch. Justina Machado as Z was also mostly fine, but sounds so strained with the voice giving out in some line reads. I'd have gone with another take. How about that animation? It's rough, on par with or maybe even a little worse than a standard CG television series. There were some noticeable errors as well, such as Mama T-Rex's bad tooth still being in her jaw after Buck had removed it. Gotta say though, I really like the style they went with for the cave paintings. It has evolved into a far cry from how they looked in the first movie, but they're really well done here. The music was composed by Batu Center and sounded pleasant, with a couple pieces standing out among others. As an overall package though, it's bad. Not as much as Collision Course, thank God, but with all the retcons, unfunny humor, and underwhelming animation, it's just not great. Buck's surprisingly not as much a part of the movie or important to the plot as its name might suggest. They could have called it Ice Age Crash and Eddie's Big Adventure and it would have fit more. It begs the question of why they even made this film. You can just tell it's devoid of soul all around and it depresses me. Can't this franchise die in peace? Well, as it turns out, it just might have. You see, while Disney was working on this garbage, Blue Sky themselves made a series of shorts starring a character suspiciously absent from the movie. Released just a few short months after Adventures of Buck Wild and around a year after Blue Sky's shutdown, their last official production, a series called Ice Age Scrat Tales, was released on Disney+. In it, Scrat adopts a baby squirrel, named Baby Scrat, and discovers that life as a parent is just as wacky as it was beforehand. Scrat's a bit of a dick parent, and the baby has his moments as well, especially in that last one, and the wrongdoer of any given episode typically gets what they deserve by the end of it. There's also a baby Dodo, which like the Buck movie kinda flies in the face of Ice Age mythology, but I can forgive it way more since this series isn't trying to tell a serious story. It wasn't quite a gutbuster, but it was generally pretty funny, the animation was gorgeous, and it had its heartwarming moments too. It also had Scrat getting his eye pissed on, but nothing's perfect, I suppose. The music by Batu Center was well done, and the theme by John Powell is an earworm too. It's genuinely a good set of shorts, and ends on this loving message from the Blue Sky staff thanking their fans for sticking around all these years. But do you remember when I said that this was their last official production? By complete surprise, on April 13th, 2022, the same day that Scrat Tales was released, an unlisted YouTube video titled The End was posted by an account called Finale. It opens on an acorn in the middle of a snowy area as Scrat bounces his way on screen. He sniffs out the acorn and makes his way toward it, giving it a loving embrace before he prepares to bury it as he is wont to do. But he hesitates, giving the acorn a longing look as he contemplates his next move. And then, the big moment. After all the things this poor squirrel had gone through, being pulverized, flung through time, getting kidnapped, sent into space, and even dying, they finally let him eat the acorn. He finishes up, bounces off, and we're left with just a few crumbs and the top of the acorn fade to black. A truly touching send-off. As it turns out, in the last days of Blue Sky's operations, a skeleton crew put this 35-second animation together. As the description puts it, this shot is a farewell, a send-off on our own terms, giving Disney the middle finger they deserved on the way out. All things must come to an end, and in my opinion, they couldn't have done it any better than this. Speaking of endings, though, it looks like this'll be my last look at the Ice Age franchise, at least for a while. I watched the first movie for the holidays yearly, and it's been really fun to share my thoughts on the franchise with you all, with my love for the first three movies, especially the original, and seeing most of the other material for the very first time, even if it got rough at points. It ended on a pretty good note, though, I must say. To me, it was bookended with the same love and care as it had going in. Fitting for me, personally speaking, since I became a fan 20 years ago. Considering how it started, I'm glad it turned out that way. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the video in the comments. Give it a like if you liked it, or a dislike if you didn't. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. It's free and you can opt out anytime. Here's a playlist with similar content, and my Twitter. I have been skull902, thank you again for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. God damn it, will you leave my nightmares?
Ass and Hetty, Rabbit, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Oh goodness. So yeah, it's a bit of a finale of my Ice Age reviews, unless if something else comes out. Uh, so yeah, there we go. And with that, we're right at the tail end of this. Just one more video left to do. So last year, Rabbit and I had a bit of a Power Rangers watch-a-thon, as we do every now and then. Review the porn parody. No. Uh, uh, So again, we were watching Power Rangers. We were specifically watching Power Rangers Zeo, the episodes Where in the World is Zeo Ranger 5 and King for a Day, parts 1 and 2. And I know I had seen the like the climactic moment in King for a Day. Like when I was a kid, and I liked it back then, but I didn't really appreciate the I just said no, Georgia. I wasn't like, oh, fuck you, Georgia. Your idea is dim.
If he's gonna do a porn review, it's gonna be Super Hornio Brothers.
Oh, God. So Power Rangers, right? I saw the moment when I was a kid. I liked it back then, but I didn't really take in how good the acting and the whole setup of everything and the writing was. So when Rabbit and I watched it last year, and it happened, we were just kind of like, holy fucking shit, that was actually like really good. Uh, and so this year I decided, you know what, fuck it. It's on the mind. I'm gonna make a video about it. So with that in mind, the final video of this little look back on 2023 is the greatest forgotten moment in Power Rangers history. Let's have a look.
Hey everyone, skull902 here. As some of you might know, I've been huge into Power Rangers since I was a literal baby. My area of expertise is mostly in the original Saban era, but I think it's safe to say there's good in all the show's history. What might be your favorite moment? Something in that original era, such as the Rangers' Last Stand and Countdown to Destruction? Maybe something from the Disney era, Neo Saban, or the Hasbro-produced episodes? Whatever the case may be, there are probably moments or a series of events fans can point to from any of these eras and say, I think that one's the greatest. For my money though, I think my favorite Power Rangers scene is a pretty obscure one. Last year, along with Rabbit, I saw the 3-part Zeo episodes Where in the World is Zeo Ranger 5 and King for a Day, specifically part 2 of the latter. Something he and I regularly do during our hangouts is joke around and talk about what we watch when we watch it, but sometimes when something hits, we really shut the hell up and take it in, and this was one such moment. Afterward, we kinda turned to each other and were like, that was actually really good. So allow me a moment to analyze the scene and give my thoughts on it. First, the setup. Tommy Oliver, the Red Zeo Ranger, mysteriously disappears while testing his uncle's jet ski. As it turns out, Prince Gasket of the Machine Empire has kidnapped him and sent out his monster Cruel Chrome against the other Rangers. They defeat him with the Zeo Ultrazord, but Tommy's nowhere to be found. Gasket has brainwashed Tommy into believing he's the king of the Machine Empire and that the other Rangers are his enemies, having implanted his memories and power into the Machine Altor. Jason, the Gold Ranger, is teleported to Gasket's prison dimension and is set up to fight Tommy after defeating Altor. Despite Jason's pleas, Tommy is having none of it and is bent on the Power Rangers' destruction. Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa, seeing that Gasket's plot could spoil their own plans to retake their base on the moon, reluctantly teleport the other Rangers to the arena, and this is where things really kick into gear. After a brief fight, Catherine gets the idea to jog Tommy's memory by showing him who they really are, literally and figuratively. She walks toward him unaggressively, bravely standing strong as Tommy goes in for a hit but hesitates, showing that her plan is working. He tries again but is met with a hug, Cat begging him not to go through with this path of destruction he's on. Hearing her name helps him further, but with what Gasket had implanted in his mind before, he can't tell what's the truth and what isn't. The other Rangers follow suit, which helps, but the hold Gasket has is strong, and Tommy is clearly struggling. He snaps, thinking his friends are trying to fool him, and points his Zeo laser blaster at them. But Cat is determined. She again beckons him to turn back to the side of good, non-confrontational and speaking softly, which is important and I'll get into why a little later. Tommy once again recoils, unsure of what to do, but Gasket yells at him in frustration, calling him a fool and ordering him to destroy them. This last little push is what restores Tommy back to his regular self, powering down and telling Gasket that he's the enemy, declaring that he's going to be leaving with the others. The Power Rangers have broken the spell. So what is it about this sequence of events that I like so much? In short, it's that I think they really pulled the drama off. But if you want the long answer, in my opinion the setup was well written and the dialogue was top notch. Add in some of the best acting I've seen in the whole Power Rangers franchise, I swear to Christ. Jason pleading that he doesn't want to fight, Catherine taking a calm and caring approach, Tommy vocalizing his confusion and inner struggles. Serious credit to the suit actors as well, who have only their body language to work with. In particular, I want to mention Makoto Yokoyama, who portrayed the Red Zeo Ranger. Tommy's pain and inner turmoil came off so believably thanks to his efforts. Smaller things such as the camera work, the arena's aesthetic, the music, editing, and callbacks to previous episodes throughout this story also play a part. And hey, remember when I mentioned how Kat was being non-confrontational? I think that shows the people behind the show knew how to write a story with non-violent conflict resolution, flying in the face of accusations by some that the show was just mindless action scenes that somehow convinced children to beat each other up. To me, that all makes this one of the best forgotten moments in Power Rangers history. But what makes it forgotten? Aside from how I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it, probably because it's sandwiched between Bulk and Skull's first ever true fight scene, let's be real. Which is fucking badass in its own right, by the way. But if you're a fan of the show or have any interest after hearing me talk about it, I think you should check it out. I know after seeing it last year, I'll definitely remember how great this moment truly is. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the video in the comments. Give it a like if you liked it, or a dislike if you didn't. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. It's free and you can opt out anytime. Here's a playlist with similar content, and my Twitter. I have been skull902, thank you again for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Also, the part where Kat, Tommy, and Jason try to express their support for Bulk and Skull after all was done was legit heartwarming.
And there we have it. 2023. A look back. Those were the videos that I felt deserved the showcase here on today's stream. So yeah. Goodness, I hope that you guys liked it. And let's just switch on over to this. Well, thank you for thank you for that, Shay. Spidey says good times. We're gonna move on to Q&A hangout for a little bit, but first and foremost, I just want to express my thoughts on the year. 2023 was a pretty good year, for the channel. I feel like there was a lot of expansion going on in terms of just being able to reach out to new communities and like connect them together, largely through the Racing League, which is one of the reasons I really love doing it. So like before I had like a couple of different circles, I suppose. Where it was like the people I knew through Sonic Song over on one side, and then like Shad's community, for instance, and like some others here and there. But again, I felt like things really melded together, and obviously there are still those circles, but like there's far more crossover now, and it was kind of cool to like bring people together like that, especially with how amazing a community that my friends each have. So that was definitely a big part of it. And then just some confidence in my editing as well. Of course, oh yeah, it's British New Year now. Happy 2024, 2020 Georgia. So yeah.
People from the future.
Even more people from the future. We got Slytherin and Shad from Sweden an hour ago, and now it's Georgia. entering the new year. So again, just another good few videos that I'm proud of. In particular, the Amy character analysis, um, and you know, uh, just like getting the skits together and stuff. I'm just glad to have your support, everyone that has come by and watched and given their thoughts and everything, especially in terms of like the skits and stuff. I'm glad that you know. I've entered this transitional period where I'm going to be moving away from like sprite skits, retiring from voice acting and doing those skits. And eventually, when I'm done with that transition, it's going to be mostly the My Thoughts style content. Uh, and I'm glad that it seems that like the support is there. The understanding why I'm retiring from voice acting and all that. So a big appreciation to you guys for that as well. Uh, and just like other years, just a load of good experiences. You know, uh, whether it be making the videos like I mentioned before, or streaming. Trying out some new games. I did a lot more first-time playthroughs on stream this year than I did in previous years, and we'll see if that continues. Um, but yeah, just in an overall sense, 2023 was kind of like a year where you know I'm starting to move in different directions, but at the same time, uh, we're bringing people together and just spreading the love in that sort of way, uh, and things are looking positive, I'd say, in terms of like again, just the community first and foremost, the way that the videos are going, the support, um, just all that. So again, just a big thank you to making this year a pretty fun one for me and in my channel. And to Wa, welcome to the stream and happy New Year to you as well. So yeah, uh, Trip, Rabbit, do you guys have any particular thoughts on this year and what it means to you?
A bit of a mixed year, I guess. I don't know. I don't have much to say.
At least for you, it started off. You got to meet Giorgio in person.
Off well, yeah.
Yeah. So at least there's that. Trippy boy, how about you?
It was a year. It had mostly pros, some cons. I guess it was highlighted by saying, "Hey, look, it's a dog," and that being the only funny thing I said all year. But it was fun. I got to do cool things in IRL, which I'm afraid to say here just because of safety reasons. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, buddy. To Spidey, no, I can probably like break out a voice every now and then like on stream. Like that's fine. It's just like doing a whole ass session. I think you know is something because like what I've found over the years is that my voice for whatever reason is fairly fragile. So like every time that I've had to take a hiatus from it, where it's just like, okay, if I try most of my voices, it's either just impossible or like painful or uncomfortable in some way. Uh, you know,
He's
it
not
wasn't
really built for voice acting.
yeah, apparently, like I'll give you a good example. Like it doesn't take much sometimes, so I got to be really careful about how I do it. Uh, the last time it happened, I was just doing voices, just like regular, no problem. Just regular old voice lines and whatnot. While Rabid Josh and I were playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I just did one line. It wasn't even like a terribly yelly or loud line or whatever. I did it and I was like, oh no. I felt it like immediately. And I was like, ah, fuck. How long is this gonna last? Because the previous time before I was out for a year and a half. So, you know.
Oh shit, dog.
Yeah, it's just my throat, like Rabbit said, just apparently isn't built for voice acting. And maybe proper training would help in that respect, but and I just never received it, and I wouldn't be able to pay for it now. So, uh, you know, uh, so that's why I'm retiring. But you know, if I'm feeling all right, you know, I could break out a funny voice on stream. You know, that shouldn't be too hard on me. So yeah. Well, Swift, I hope that you enjoy your half day at work.
Was the Ussy joke from this year?
Oh
Or was
no,
that last year?
Yeah, the Ussy Chronicles was Christmas last year.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, unfortunately.
just missed 2023 by a few days.
Yeah. And as far as things all of us plus Georgia did together, we had the Parappa stream earlier this year. That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. That other than the cheap section that took like an hour. That was a
Yeah,
pretty fun
cheap
stream.
like took like a whole that was like a whole feature length section.
It really was. It was torture for me.
Weird how they fucked up the timing on just that one section of the game, and then they never patched it. Weird.
Yeah.
That one was fun. It was also like somewhat bittersweet in the way that I noticed I was starting to get sick during it.
Oh shit.
And that cold or whatever I had, I think it was COVID actually. Like it wasn't the most pleasant.
Both you and Georgia got COVID at the same time.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Wasn't the worst either, but still, the Cheap Saga was godly. Oh, you know it. We have
Cheap Saga is one of my favorite arcs for sure.
Yeah.
She truly is the strongest character in fiction.
Yeah, you know, this is, I think where we truly learned that you know, her strength rivals that of, you know, like I said, or well, no, she's stronger than like Goku and Superman, Saitama, so on and so forth. There's only really a select few that can really challenge her, you know. Parappa is one of them, of course.
Yes.
We have Cheap give birth to a ton of chicks in the 1 hour. Yeah, like I said in the Parappa video, you know, she doesn't give a single fuck. She could just you know, sacrifice a couple of her potential children just to bake a cake. She doesn't care. She knows she doesn't necessarily have to play by the rules. Georgia says, I think I just need to get a better mic. Since looking back on that stream, I got drowned out / talked over a lot, which isn't on you guys. Yeah, you know, the more people you get into the party, the more potential there is for people talking over each other.
Yeah.
Swift, I saw your art, and you did a good job.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of fun to be had on the streams and whatnot, whether it be here or on Trip's channel, TTP's, Shad's, you know, Vinny's, Dennis's, Brent's, other assorted streamer friends. Say the last. Oh, okay. All right.
Here it comes.
Say the last donkey of the year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
What?
How can you
I'm
think
gonna
Sega
go.
would deal with a star-nosed mole Sonic character? Um, Probably the same as they do most characters that they introduce, you know? You just kind of choose a species and then build a character around that, I guess. Well, maybe not build a character around that because, like, you know, what Dr. Starline's a platypus and he's not exactly, slapping people with his weird beaver tail that he doesn't have, or, poisoning people with his claws or whatever. I hate Dr. Starline, by the way. Just wanted to let that be known. Uh,
Yeah, well, he's dead, so.
Hopefully for good. I recently made a star-nosed mold OC named Brooke. She is blind. I remember seeing that actually in Trip server. Uh, Understandable lol.
Well, if I know anything about Sonic characters, it's that they usually only vaguely look like the animal they're based on.
Yeah.
True.
Boxing match between Brandon and Dr. Starline for the new year. I'd beat the ever-loving shit out of him if he were still with us.
Dr. Starline would get shithoused by just about anybody.
Yeah, all you got to do is take his left glove off or whatever fucking MacGuffin he's using to become powerful, and then he becomes a little bitch.
Oh no,
That would be a
not the
pay-per-view
Infinity
event I would pay
Gauntlet.
for.
So it almost is kind of like a Sonic version because he's like, yes, a new MacGuffin to put in my glove. I am now the most powerful character. I don't know why I imagine him with a slimy sounding German accent, but I do.
It sounded a bit French towards the end there.
My French and German do kind of slip into each other.
I thought that was you doing a Canadian accent.
A.
Oh, hey there, bud. It's me, Dr. Starline.
Oh, hey, how you doing over there?
Oh, yeah, I've got the Warp Torpaz. Torpaz?
What?
I got the Warp Torpaz, see?
That fucking reminds me of during the recording of the Amy character analysis and the part where it was talking about the scene where Mr. Tanaka and Ella give her a little pep talk. I put their names in that order, Mr. Tanaka and Ella. But when I was recording it, for whatever fucking reason, I couldn't say it without somehow getting like possessed by Britishness at the end. So I would say Ella's name is Eller, and I was like, God damn it, stop fucking saying it like that. And I just couldn't, so I had to switch their names around.
Godzilla is eating his sup.
Exactly. He has the Vorpal sword.
Godzilla is eating his sup.
Yep, that is a real line in the movie.
Yeah. What were all the things he had again? Like there was the Tricore, there was the Warp Topaz. Yeah, those were the two. So like the Tricore again was just like Sonic Tails and Knuckles' energy put into like a thing, and so that made the user very fast, able to fly, and super strong as well. And then there was the Warp Topaz, which you know, name's kind of on the tin. You could use it to teleport, but if you overexerted it, then bad things would happen. So yeah, Shay says that, and they strangely wanted to ship him with Eggman. I wouldn't say the comic writers did. I mean, like he greatly admired Eggman until Eggman started doing some uh, uh, damn it, what's the word? Eggman kind of started fucking up his own plan because he was being uh, too impulsive about it, being a bit rushed.
And then afterwards, he was more so in love with the idea of Eggman than anything else.
Yeah. And so then his whole thing was like, I am going to do better than Eggman to prove what a real villain should be. Then God, he just kept fucking failing at everything. And when he succeeded, it was because of luck, not like anything he actually did. Like they should have written him like actually succeeding at something to like, okay, here's the idea, implant it in the reader that, hey, maybe he actually is better than Eggman before like he gets stopped. But that's not what they did, and I don't understand why. The Tricore was the weird Sonic Heroes power core thing. But like my thing is, if you're gonna show the power cores as clearly diegetic, then like where are the rings? That's like my only problem with IDW is like, where are the rings? That's a good question.
The only way I could really see them incorporating the rings is like as money, but Sega didn't allow them to do that for a while.
Yeah, that's just the thing. I do remember seeing a tweet about that recently. Not like the rings as money, but like the rings just being a thing in like the world that they show, like Sonic Prime. And like the person was like, it's kind of interesting that Sonic Prime really treats the rings like they do in the video games. And I was like, God damn, you're right.
Probably the most positive thing I can say about Starline is that he made Surge and Kitsunami by doing horrific experiments on them, which makes him a lot more sinister, but then they killed him off almost like right away.
Yeah, isn't that just something? A character that's written so terribly as Dr. Starline is responsible for some of the best written characters in the entire fucking franchise. Like, goddamn. Robert, like, I don't know. Because like they treat him as a credible villain still, though, is my thing. If you're gonna treat him as a credible villain, maybe he should do something to earn that, that credibility. If he's pissed off at Eggman for being, rushing into things too much or being too impulsive, whatever, have him get some actual victories so that we, the readers, can look at that and be like, oh shit, he's succeeding where Eggman failed. Like, oh my god, like wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that like make more sense? I think so. That's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah.
No one reads comics. And I assure you, Spidey, that is not true.
Yeah, that's not true. Nobody reads Western comics. Be more specific.
I just can't read.
Oh shit.
Well, there you go.
The more I learn about Sonic, the less I understand. I mean, what's got you stumped, Georgia? Listen, if you can understand a multitude of different anime, surely you can understand Sonic, which takes inspiration from a lot of anime.
Yeah.
It's just so confusing for why his eyes are peach and his arms are green. You know?
Would Starline glow blue in the ultraviolet light? I don't know. If they make a plush doll of Dr. Starline, I will not buy it and hope that someone else does and put it under a UV light to answer your question. Wow, okay, calling out my weeb ass. Listen, I'm just saying, if like, if you can understand like the intricacies of like, I don't know, demon history and biology in Inuyasha, for instance, right?
Sonic ain't that complicated. It's just talking animals beating up a fat guy.
Yeah. There is a plush of Starline? Oh boy. Alright, someone buy that so I don't have to, and then put it under a black light. See what color he glows. I personally hope that he glows fire.
Then ship it to Brandon so he can beat the shit out of it.
Sometimes some bits of Sonic lore across any of the official Sonic continuities just kind of feel like they make the reader experience a sort of Jared 19 never fucking learned how to read sort of thing, you know. Actually, they're yokai, not demons. Get wrecked, bruh.
Well, in the dub they call them demons. So.
Bruh. Exactly what Rabbit said.
And Inuyasha eats demon food because he's half demon.
Yeah. I'm pretending to eat demon food because I am half demon. Easily top 5 robot chicken sketches.
Absolutely.
Call me Inuyasha, honey.
Can't believe it. Best Buy was closed.
Maybe Target's still open.
I'm not waiting a whole week to find out whether Inuyasha and Kagome get together.
Oh, come on. The Red Wings.
Ooh, Desperate Housewives. I could really get into this.
Another victory for Dad. Georgia, no, don't leave. Okay, let's see here. Excuse me. Spidey says, I straight up don't give a shit about the lore. And that's perfectly fine. Josh, welcome to the stream. Welcome. We're just kind of bullshitting right now.
Yeah.
This is the end of the stream. All the videos are done.
Did you know that canonically the events from Sonic Adventure 1 to Sonic Frontiers all happened within the same year?
Yeah. The timeline is really weird, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad that they got rid of character ages as well. You know, because like I think it is just better to do coding because like when you really think about it, characters like Amy, Sonic, Knuckles, and so on, SBO for instance, they don't really act like they're those ages that they used to be. They just wrote them as young adults, so you know, so it's just better to be like, yeah, we're just gonna code them like this and leave ages out of it.
Yes.
But then
well,
also
Frontiers,
like
they all sound like they're in their 30s now. So
yeah, and then timeline is also a thing too. So like you're like just to think about it, like if Tails is supposed to be 8 years old, but like how do all these games take place in such a short amount of time that like no time really passed between them or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
It's like, how did anything that happen? I remember we were talking about this yesterday, me and some other folks. I was like, so did the entire events of like Adventure 1 and 2 happen in just like one weekend, and then a week later was Sonic Unleashed, which took place in the span of like 2 months or something? Like, because like that theory just doesn't make sense.
I do remember calculating how long, because you can tell by the cutscenes and the day-night cycle in them and whatnot. I think Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 both take place over the course of like, I think it's like 6 days maybe for Adventure, and then like 3 for Adventure 2.
that sounds about right.
It would make sense.
Yeah. Let's see here. Georgia says I couldn't find a noose, and that's good because you dying is against the rules. So
it's banned. You're not allowed.
You are not allowed. Georgia, I don't know how many times we have to tell you. Stop trying to break the rules, young lady. You can't.
Yeah. If you die, you have no balls. So don't die.
You're functionally immortal right now. I don't know why you don't understand this.
Exactly. Fuck. Robert asking, Skull random question. You said before that you wanted to try out the Insomniac game. Are you still interested in trying it? I just finished 2, so I have spiders on the brain right now. Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. I have it on my Steam wish list. I'm just hoping that maybe one day they can put it on sale for less than like $40. We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm interested. You give me an open world Spider-Man game where you can just swing around and whatnot. It looks really fun. Uh, yeah, I can't sacrifice my balls, says Georgia. Yeah, exactly. How are you? How else are you gonna be able to go up to the haters and be like, hey, suck my fucking dick, you know?
Exactly.
Straight off my library, Brandosif. I'd like to have it for myself. That's just kind of how I kind of prefer it, TBH. Felicia says, so yeah, I don't remember why or how I came to this conclusion, but around the time Frontiers first came out, I did some super late night, early morning deep analysis and came to the conclusion that everyone's ages are just their previously official stated ages plus 5. I mean, if that's how you want to think about it, more power to you. I'm just kind of sitting here like, you know what? Coding is a lot better than stated ages, personally speaking. Remember when I quoted you? Oh, like when I said don't quote me on that, and then like, was it you or Stitch? I remember this being a thing on a stream. Don't quote me on that, and then like someone immediately quoted what I said, because that's just what happens.
It happens.
Skull just play with Legos on stream. Yeah, I'm sure everyone is really begging for the stream where you just see my hands, which are like, it's not dry skin, but like I kind of overwash my hands, so like uh, it looks super dry, right? Uh, so just my ugly ass hands, and I'll just like build Lego sets. That being said, I did quite enjoy building Bionicles back in the day, so maybe if I found some like new ones of those, I don't know. Miracle, hi. Says Georgia, Happy New Year. Hi guys. Yep, Happy British New Year to you, Miracle. I hope that you're having a good, safe time over there. So yeah. Uh, Josh, you always do this on a stream, and I'm not ignoring you. There's just a lot of people in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't answer every question. Let's see. Felicia says, "Can you imagine if one day Sega just came out and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Tails is actually only like 2 seconds younger than Sonic. Specifically 2 seconds."
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time Sega's been inconsistent.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Swift says, Skull, you don't have skin. You are a skeleton." Ah, shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, my hands are still ugly though. Let's see here. Robert says, I have a Halo Mega Constructs elephant to build, but I wouldn't stream that. Yeah, like if I had like something like that, or Bionicles, whatever the case may be, I would have to really know what I wanted to talk about if I were to like even just record an offline video of that. So yeah, 5.5 hours till New Year's. Yep, that's true for the U.S. Here on the East Coast. Or well, I suppose I'm not on the coast, but I'm in the time zone. So, yeah. Octavia, hello, welcome to the stream. Let's see. The current canon is whatever Sega wants it to be in the moment. Pretty much. But at least
Yeah.
they're trying to like organize everything into like a consistent mold now. So we'll see how that turns out. You know, but I'll give it, this that after years of like retcons and bullshit, they're giving it a try to be consistent with
Yeah.
something.
In order to do that, they unavoidably had to do some retcons again, but it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Redcons are fun.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Retconic.
Retconic the Hedgehog.
Retconic.
Miracle, it seems, has to go. So, hey, I hope that you have a good rest of your night. Happy New Year to you. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Let's see here. Retconic the Hedgehog hashtag. I was gonna do a Jason anime laugh followed by a request for the phrase "ladies." Haha, ladies.
Ladies.
Let's see here. Felicia says, "Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, it definitely could be worse." LMAO, it's gotten pretty good with like Frontiers and Tails Tube and Twitter takeover videos and such. Yeah, really really nice that they're trying to put everything together in a coherent form.
They
Tails
got
Tube
all
is,
the comic people plus Tyson Hess who know the Sonic lore better than the people who make Sonic do.
yeah. They got him to make that video on Fang. I'm like they should just fucking consistently hire Cybershell to be a part of this
Definitely,
like
yeah.
Sonic lore team as well because he's a fucking encyclopedia. Uh, Man, like Tails Tube specifically, what I really like about that is like some of the background stuff that they do in there, like uh, when he unveiled his new pro gamer stream setup, and like he has the fucking plant from Sonic X in the background, like dude, like that's a cool callback, you know?
Yeah.
Love that stuff. Justice for Fang the Sniper. Yeah, that was a weird retcon too. They didn't
I mean,
necessarily.
it's not really a retcon because they mentioned the name straight up.
They did acknowledge the old name, and I suppose like his explanation made sense, but also like I mean, if he keeps calling himself Fang, then then the point of it is kind of fucked. But whatever.
They just did it so the name would sound less violent, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think they necessarily said that, but you can kind of tell. KJ says this year, like last year, was great for us Sonic fans. I'm looking forward to 2024 being just as great or even better, especially with Prime and the third movie. Yeah, I think like Superstars and a lot of Update 3 aside, like it's been pretty good for old Sunak. Kind of keeping on the same track that we've been on since last year, and can only hope for season 3 of Prime, the Knuckles show, and movie 3 especially. Really looking forward to movie 3. Got some big plans for it. You know, hopefully it stays on a positive roll through there.
Dan Slott versus Ken Penders. Who would win? Dan Slott next.
Who is Dan Slott?
He wrote for the Spider-Man comics for like about a decade.
Gotcha.
He also wrote the Shattered Dimensions game, and that led into him doing the Spider-Verse story.
Nifty.
Funnily enough, He actually wrote a couple of things for the Archie Sonic comics, and that also involved multiverse stuff.
I don't know what to write a story about, and I don't know why I have a British accent either. The multiverse.
Yeah.
That one human lady? Let's see here. Robert said, Tales Tube also showed us that pink-haired girl, and according to Ian Flynn, will be a real character in something in the future.
I don't remember her at all, so
yeah, same. Blanking. Still can't wait for the day when Sega does a game based off of Sonic X, particularly Season 3, I suppose. I mean, like, they have to. OMG, yeah.
The best you're gonna get is that Leapster game they made, like, 20 years ago.
It'd be interesting if they went back to that well, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
I could kind of see, like, it would be pretty cool if they did, like, this is all just hypothetical. Again, I don't think it would ever have a chance of happening, but, like, if they did a game and they got, like, the artist back, and did maybe something of a Cuphead, perhaps not quite as detailed, because that would take a lot, but, you know, where, like, it's all hand-drawn animation, and it could either be like a traditional Sonic platform, or it could be a different genre as well. So like I could see how they could present it, but again, unfortunately, I don't think that that it would ever have a chance of happening.
I'm gonna go now.
Okie doke.
Oh no. Okay.
Have a good food, Rabid.
Okie dokie.
There goes my friend. Watch him as he goes. To be fair, hair IMO at least is more of a magenta / fuchsia sort of color, but I guess that does technically count as pink. So yeah. Dan Slott is an overall good writer, but his Fantastic Four run retcon that Franklin Richards isn't a mutant anymore, and I really hate that. Oh, I'm not sure who Franklin Richards is, so I can't really comment on that either way. Georgia says, "There goes my man." Indeed, he'll be back.
Shit.
Uh,
Eventually.
At someday. Rabid will return in 2024.
Next time on Dragon Ball P.
Watch out, Goku. Captain Rabbit is on the attack. Franklin is Reed and Sue's first child. Gotcha. Hope you boys are having fun tonight so far. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nice New Year's Eve stuff. You know, and the night's only just gotten started. I do have some potential plans for a few hours from now. So we'll see how that works. If those don't work out, I'll probably contact Rabbit or something and be like, "Hey, you back from dinner?" We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I have no plans at all, so all I know is there is a grilled cheese waiting for me out in the kitchen. That's my plans for tonight, is eating grilled cheese.
Oh boy, grilled cheese. How do you this is gonna be a weird thing. We're just going from like New Year's to grilled cheese preferences all of a sudden. But how do you have yours? Because it's been a long time since I've had one. But like near the end of my time, somewhat regularly having grilled cheese sandwiches, just cheese wasn't cutting it for me anymore. So I always had whoever was cooking it add like a slice of lunch meat or two, like turkey, for instance.
I like a good old grilled ham and cheese sometimes. It's real good.
Okay, so you put meat on it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just adds to the sandwich.
It does. It really does. It just makes it feel like a full meal because, after a while, just having just cheese is like, yes, it feels more like a snack than like a lunch, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Have you ever done the thing? I know I've seen it in a commercial before, and I've wanted to try it, but I just never got around to it. Uh, like dipping it in like tomato soup or tomato sauce, uh, something like that. Like it seems like that would taste good to me.
I've never tried that. What I would probably do though, I would probably dip it in some queso.
Yeah,
That's about it.
it seems like one of those foods that you could just like dip in something and it would add a little more.
Yeah.
Uh, Georgia says, I'm indulging in an alcoholic beverage. I'm going to get fucked up. Well, with this 1/4 martini to 3/4 lemonade mixture. Uh, I mean, you know, uh, you don't drink very much, so, if you end up getting tipsy or fucked up or anything on a small amount of alcohol, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Again, you just don't drink very much, so uh, it's fine. Just remember to be careful about it and everything. I have some special drinks planned as well. I go for non-alcoholic sparkling juice. My mom came through with two of them. She brought them over today. Uh, I'm gonna have some red grape and some raspberry. I usually drink one before the new year and one after. So once I'm done with this bottle of Coke, I'm gonna get like the raspberry, I think, uh, and all that. So yeah, fun stuff.
Georgia's gonna get so drunk, she's gonna start talking like an old prospector again.
uh, see here. Felicia says, I usually like to add ham or turkey to grilled cheese, and even sometimes I've like to add a sunny side up egg on top. I have a friend who loves having
Ooh.
eggs on top of things, particularly steak. Yet, egg as an additive to something is like a little weird to me. Uh, I feel like if you're gonna have an egg with your grilled cheese sandwich, that it would be something that like you'd put on the side of it. Maybe not on top. Although I suppose if you made the egg the right way, like if you make it the way that you would an egg sandwich, for instance, and then put that in there, I could see that. Um, but like the one I think that confuses me the most is uh, some people have like egg in their ramen soup, and I'm like, I don't see how this would be tasty, but more power to you if you like it. Uh, uh, so yeah. Um, KJ was saying, "What are your wishes for 2024?" Mine are for the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, get my 2-year degree at Germana, see the Caps win their second Stanley Cup, see the Lakers win the NBA title, and be more positive and optimistic. Um, I think I've got a pretty simple wish. I just I hope that things stay positive and can like grow the community more and stuff like that. Uh, I guess like the one solid is that getting the movie out next year. That is like a big goal of mine. Uh, you know uh, I want to get this movie out and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it and whatnot. A lot's going into it and you know uh, I just hope that you guys like the story as much as I liked writing it. Uh,
Yeah.
About talking like a prospector, Georgia says, again, did I black that out? Sounds like one hell of a hootenanny.
I don't know. Not Rabbit. It was, I think, either Rabbit or Georgia mentioned that something about talking like a prospector, and that's just kind of stuck with me for a while. And I was never explained what that was, so I just thought it'd just be a funny reference.
Gotcha. Uh, let's see here. Thanks, Barndo. Oh, right, about staying safe and being responsible and all that. Yeah, as long as we're having fun and staying safe, it's all good. My wish for 2024 is to make the spider plush agenda. Well, didn't you kind of already though? Because you have that list of all the Spider-Man plushes that exist.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that I want to see one of my favorite NASCAR racers from either the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, or Craftsman Truck Series win the championship in their respective series. Well, best of luck to you on that. Georgia says, "Oh, Taylor, Josh, and I were playing Ace Attorney, and while reading my line, I flubbed and said prospector instead of prosecutor. So he started taking the piss and reading his lines in that voice."
Oh, okay.
Well, I do
Makes
say, for the sake of argument here in front of the jury. Look at this.
Yes.
It's Exhibit A.
The prodigal son has returned.
No, I'll take over the world. Well, that's a bit different from. Oh, you said Spider Plush agenda. That's your agenda, just to take over the world. Gotcha. Good good luck with that, Spidey. Let's blast into 2024 with Sonic speed and float like a Cadillac and sting like a Beamer. Well, no, I think more like Napoleon from the Aristocats or the Sheriff of Nottingham from Disney's Robin Hood. I don't remember how they sound.
I don't either. Which one is Napoleon?
Goodness. And my immediate thought when I see the word prospector is either like, the stereotypical Southern prospector voice or Stinky Pete from Toy Story.
Yeah, I think Stinky Pete as well. It's the go-to.
Well, of course, Stinky Pete sounds like Kelsey Grammer. I don't do the greatest impression of him, but here we are.
It's good enough.
Old Man McGucket. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Georgia. Robert says, never had a Spider-Man plush, but I do have a Build-A-Bear dog with a Spider-Man costume. Nice. I've had a couple Spider-Man plushes over the years. One of them was like this carnival prize based on like the movies. I lost him at my dad's house, so unfortunately that one's not around anymore. I hope that whoever ended up inheriting that Spider-Man loves him very much. And then the second one, it's like another sort of carnival prize one. If you've seen, which I sincerely hope that you haven't seen, but if you've seen Spider-Man Slightly Good Advice episode 1, or the trailer for the show, then that's the one. I got him from Dave and Buster's. He's pretty good. I like it. He gives the greatest advice. Yeah, the greatest advice, like. Hey, if you see someone in trouble, you should help them. Though, of course, some things take priority. So, say, imagine I just bought a hot dog. Someone's in trouble, but I spent a lot of money on this hot dog.
And I took a bite out of this hot dog and I said, man, that's really cold.
So I went up to the chef. I was like, hey, what the fuck is up with this hot dog? It was really cold. And he was like, oh, sorry, Rodney Dangerfield. I'll make you another hot dog. And I was like, wait a second. Holy fuck, you sound exactly like me. Dear God.
Fucking love that stupid Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, that was a chronicle for sure.
and it'll come back when we least expect it.
And I'm I'm so scared for when it comes. And I remember the Rodney Dangerfield dog movie. Yeah, Rover Dangerfield.
Yeah. One of
Oh,
a
I'd
cinematic
never do it on a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree is safe from me. Oh, what would Santa think of me? You know?
Yeah. Dang, we should have watched that for the holidays.
Oh boy.
Maybe next year.
It would have counted too, because like there's a whole Christmas section of that movie.
Yeah, man. Shay, if you're still here, write that down.
What I've learned is that if no one wants to make something, just do it yourself, but badly. Oh man, only seen it once or twice. That describes my sort of experience with it. It was like a semi-regular thing on like Cartoon Network's Cartoon Theater back in the day when I was a kid. So I definitely remember seeing the movie back then, but not remembering a whole lot about it. So like whenever it would come up, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's that dog movie." All right, I'll sit down and watch it. I liked it well enough. But yeah,
I've only like seen part of the Nostalgia Critic review of it, so I've never seen the actual film.
yeah. So like when I was a fan of the Nostalgia Critic, is when that review came out. So I watched that. He's not big in the UK, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, he'll never reach the popularity of such comedians as Frank Sidebottom, but you know,
Frank Sidebottom. So yeah, that's the story of how my ass actually grew on my hip instead of the proper place that it should have grown. Taking a pose is very uncomfortable.
I gotta.
And yeah, instead of just doing like an actual set, he goes up on stage and complains about how difficult it is to have an ass on his side.
Well, I see that Georgia isn't aware of the British comedy legend Frank Sidebottom, which is a real character, by the way. Just all I know is his name is Frank Sidebottom, and that's all I know. A very interesting fellow, for sure.
And his cousin Fred Powerbottom. Ooh, sex references.
I didn't get it. Ooh.
Well, now you do.
Yippee.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh boy, the Red Wings lost again. What a way to end the year.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. And hopefully they can fucking turn things around. I apologize for the sudden sports break, everyone.
As we know, that's how all of the videos and streams get dislikes, is when we just briefly mention sports. Everyone's like, "Ew, gross," and then they leave.
Nah. I mean, we got a couple people talking about, sports and all that sort of stuff in the chat, so it's fine. I just wanted to see how, like, say, the NFL scores are looking. So let's see. The Lions got absolutely fucked yesterday. Just looking around, seeing who's won some games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Mm.
Except for the Lions getting fucked. That was some bad stuff.
But at least the Pistons won. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those moments where like it happens every now and then where I'm like, okay, if I could just fucking trade one team's victory for another, I totally would have, you know? Spidey, thank you so much for the 50 pesos. Says one more super chat before I charge my phone. It's on 10% battery. Well, hey, please do take care of your phone, my guy. I really appreciate the donation and thank you for your support throughout the year. Let's see, Felicia says, I don't know anything about sports, but I appreciate that you're interested in it. Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of how most treat it, and that's fine. I'm not a sports person, but y'all talk about what you want to, dudes. It's your stream. Yeah. Well, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, you've showed me Frank's side bottom. Okay,
There he is.
that is fucking cursed.
There he.
Goodness gracious. I will sit in fear as I watch that clip.
Oh, enjoy.
And if anyone says otherwise, says Georgia. What are you gonna do to him, Georgia?
Wait.
Well, Georgia talking about if anyone has a problem with us talking about sports on stream.
Oh. So yeah, I've come across the more negative people with that, where they'll make the obligatory sports ball joke saying they'll score a touchdown after hitting a home run or whatever, which is like to me a very weird flex of saying, "Oh, I don't know about this thing. I'm so cool for not knowing about this thing," and making fun of people who know about this thing. LOL. I'm so quirky and random.
Eh.
You know.
I mean, I suppose it's a little tired, but as long as it's not like, oh gee, you're talking about sports now, fuck you, it's fine.
There have been people like that. That's why I'm hesitant.
Oh jeez. Georgia says they're not being a good sport. No.
Ha ha ha.
Goodness gracious. Let's see here. Okay. Me, I do that drip. Oh no.
Well, it's okay that you can have bad take. No, I'm kidding.
Tee. Goodness. JK, I don't do that. Well, all right, fellas. We've reached almost 3 hours now, and again, I got some plans that I need to kind of account for here. I also need to eat. I am in desperate need of food because I've been up since like 4, and I immediately went to streaming, just like I did yesterday. So I need to get something in my system. So just one more time, 2023 was a good year, I think, for the channel. Lots of growth in the community. I feel made some videos I'm really happy with, and then I'm glad it seems like you guys were happy with as well. And I appreciate the love and support, especially with how I announced the retirement from voice acting, and it seems like you guys were very supportive when it came to just letting me know that you're going to stick around and everything after I'm done with sprite skits and whatnot. So that it really hits me in the heart that you guys like the channel enough to keep going after that. So yeah. 2023 was a very fond year for me as it relates to YouTube here, and I can only hope that we keep the positive train rolling next year. Again, it's going to be like a big old transition for me in terms of like content and stuff, and some milestones as well. I'm turning 30 next year, and to be able to cross that benchmark with the support of some great people here, it really means a lot to me. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and well, if I keep going on, I'm just going to repeat myself a lot. But just know, fam, that it means a whole lot to me that you guys consistently come around and watch the videos and attend the streams and stuff. And I hope that my output next year doesn't fail you or your expectations. So Yeah. Tomorrow, tomorrow night, I'm gonna start with Sonic Adventure Marathon. It's gonna start tomorrow night on the first, and then go into the early morning hours of the second, to commemorate 15 years of having beaten the game for the first time. So yeah, uh, that's the next stream plan here. Uh, and afterward, I'm gonna take a bit of a break. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. For Skull902 content in the year 2023. And I'll see you guys for the marathon tomorrow. So with all that said, everyone, I have been Skull902.
And I've been totally #1 fan of Skull902 Barndo since day one. Notifications on, subscribed, liked every video, also known as Trip.
Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day and a happy new year to you. Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, look, it's a dog.
Beautiful. Happy New Year, everyone.